Philadelphia. I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show.
Happy Thursday to everybody out there. For those that got the honor of having a short week this week, it is nice that it's already Thursday. So welcome in to the Anthony Gargano Show. I am obviously not Anthony Gargano. I am Jamie Lynch, back in today and tomorrow after John Marks carried the torch yesterday very admirably. It's an honor to be in here with you, and lots to get into today as we have our normal cast of characters with us. Andrew Frazier, Greg the Greek, VG, whatever you want to call him, and of course JP, which we'll get to in a little bit. But the presenting sponsor right off the top here is our friends over at Rite Aid. The show is brought to you by Rite Aid, your neighborhood pharmacy. Visit your local Rite Aid today. Stock up on allergy relief. I know some people are out there struggling today. Catch up on immunizations for RSV, shingles, and more. Walk in or schedule an appointment or vaccine appointment at riteaid.com. Yesterday, we got the free car wash with a little downpour of rain. At least out by me, it was pouring. But before that, the car was covered in pollen, so I know the allergy sufferers are going through it right now. So Rite Aid's got you covered there. I am seemingly getting better with allergies as I get older, which is weird because I used to be right there with you, and this year has not been that bad on me. All right, lot to get into today. The story of the morning is obviously the Phillies salvaging a West Coast trip yesterday. Because the difference between a 2-4 road trip and a 1-5 road trip is completely like night and day to me. If you came back home after a 1-5 road trip, it would have a real sour taste in the mouth, especially with the off day today. You would just kind of hate it. You would be waiting for tomorrow night just to get that taste out of your mouth. But they salvaged one yesterday on getaway day. My stance yesterday on the Phillies show, which is coming up at 11 o'clock today with Renee and Tyler, was that you should just demolish Oracle Park because it's unfair. It's a crooked system. The Phillies can't play there. But yesterday in the day game, and I think it was Tom McCarthy made the point on the Castellanos home run, or maybe it was Rube. I can't remember. The difference of night and day in that stadium, and it's something we'll talk to Jim Salisbury about as he's going to join the show coming up at 9:30 today. And then 10 o'clock, my man Bill Matz, who I've never actually got to sit behind a microphone with, is going to join us here in studio. So really looking forward to that. But Jim Salisbury, I'm going to ask, the difference of night and day there seems to be pretty remarkable. I think it was Rube that said, that Castellanos ball really carried. That's one that might not get out at nighttime here with the marine layer. So it's just an unfair, crooked MLB stadium that should be demolished, and they should start over. It's a hideous eyesore on the city of San Francisco, and they should just move on. It's had its run, 24 years now. Time to close Oracle Park down and build something new. And if you don't know me, I am a completely unserious person. I mean none of that. It's a gorgeous stadium. One of the nicest, actually, stadium food items I've ever come across there. I was telling Renee yesterday about the Gilroy garlic fries. Woo, tremendous. Gilroy, the garlic capital of the country. But let's get into what's poppin'. And what's poppin' is the Phillies. And what's poppin' is brought to you by our friends over at Olipop. I had the watermelon lime yesterday with my lunch. Quite tasty. We're popping off with Olipop. Find your favorite Olipop flavor at your nearest Wawa. And those are in the express coolers. When you walk into Wawa, you might not see them in the normal fridge, but like that pre-made sandwich section up front there, the little express section is where you'll find your Olipops. What's popping off is the Phillies are very good at baseball. There's no need to panic. The Phillies left for this West Coast trip, which optically eye test stunk. It was sloppy bad baseball, untimely hitting, just kind of the worst Phillies baseball we've seen since those first two series of the year. And they ended at 2-4. They left up 6 games in the NL East. They come home up 6 games in the NL East. So as bad as that felt, no harm, no foul. No damage was done. The Phillies still have the lead. 2-4, big win yesterday. It was nice to see Castellanos get the home run there. Hopefully that's something he can carry back home with him. He has been hitting the ball harder lately, which is a really good sign with him. And Whit Merrifield, who some were calling, it's mean, but I'm going to say it. Some people online have been calling him shit Merrifield. Hit the ball hard yesterday and almost had a home run. And it's probably a home run in a lot of stadiums. And then he immediately makes a mistake. So that was good to see. But the story of the day, what's really popping off, was Bryce Harper was having an angry day. Bryce Harper was fired up yesterday. It started in the first inning after a strikeout and a misplay at the first base. And then he took the bat to the dugout, apparently went down the tunnel to blow off some steam. And then he comes back up later in the game, and he gets 2 pitches inside and high. The first one, he steps out of the box and screams at the pitcher, "Don't you effing throw at me." The next pitch, which I do think the kid genuinely just missed on, again, high and inside. The Phillies, pour out of the dugout there. Bryce Harper looked like, this guy really just did that, huh? Do I have to go fight this kid? He didn't. He stood there. It was a pretty lame benches clearing situation. The bullpens came in. I do think Gregory Soto got a shove in, so let's mark Gregory Soto up for 1 point there in terms of being a good teammate. Gregory Soto will come throw some knuckles like that. But all in all, it was a pretty stupid baseball benches clearing situation. But nonetheless, the Phillies get the win in big part to Christopher Sanchez. And the Phillies offense has been great. At points leading the league in home runs. I don't know if Jose Ramirez has pushed the Guardians past them or not. I didn't look this morning. But leading, Alec Boehm is up there in RBIs. Bryce Harper's up there in RBIs. Kyle Schwarber's having a pretty tremendous year, and it's not even June yet. So, a lot of good things are happening offensively. The bullpen has been pretty stellar for the most part. Sir Anthony's even looked better these last couple games. But the real reason this team is dominating is the starting rotation. And Christopher Sanchez went out there yesterday in a spot you needed him because, you wanted to come home with that good taste in your mouth. And Christopher Sanchez helped you get there. He is now 9th in the National League in terms of ERA with a 2.83 ERA. Looking up some of the advanced analytics on Christopher Sanchez, who is their 4th starter, most teams would kill for a guy like this in their 4 spot. He's not getting barreled at all. Like, his stuff is deceiving hitters. Hard hit rate, he's extremely low. Barrel percentage, he's extremely low. I believe he doesn't even have a ball hit off of him over 100 miles an hour yet. He's allowed 1 home run. Christopher Sanchez is quietly becoming, the stabilizing force of this team's dominance because you expect it from Zach, you expect it from Aaron, now you expect it from Ranger. If you have that 4th guy that bridges you to Taijuan Walker, I mean, that is a extreme luxury to have. So in terms of National League ERA rankings, I've been calling for the downfall of Shota Imanaga, not because I dislike him, but just because I love Rangers so much. Well, it finally happened. Shota Imanaga allowed 7 earned runs yesterday in his start, which bumped our sweet boy Ranger up to number 1 in the National League in terms of ERA. So far, Rangers number 1, and JP, we'll bring you in here in a second to tell me if this is good, but I believe this is good. Ranger Suarez, number 1 in National League ERA. Number 5 in National League ERA. Zach Wheeler with a 2.32. Number 9 in National League ERA. Christopher Sanchez with a 2.83. And ho-hum, number 13 in the National League. Aaron Nola with a 3.04. You couple Aaron Nola's 3.04 with the fact he's thrown the most innings in Major League Baseball since 2022, and he's gone the deepest in those games of all starters since 2022. You pair that together, and you got a damn good pitcher as your number 2. You have a definite Cy Young candidate as your number 1 and number 3 right now. So, as frustrating as that road trip could have looked, things are really good still, and they're coming back home now to take on the Cardinals. Now, JP, is that good to have 4 of your 4/5 of your rotation in the top 13 in National League ERA?
I think it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. But that was a really big win yesterday. To go 2-4 and as opposed to 1-5. I mean, that's huge. It's only 1 game, but you really gave up no blood in the National League East lead.
Right.
And Christopher Sanchez went out there and, You know, he had a little bit of a hiccup, like his 5th and 6th starts of the year, but he's back now to 2 really good starts in a row. He's been phenomenal for this team this year. He's a big part of why they're so dominant.
Yeah, no, like obviously like this whole rotation's been the story for the Phillies thus far this season, but I just go back to when we had LA on the show. And, you know, a couple weeks ago I talked about
LA's the best.
LA is the best. But a couple weeks ago I did talk to Cuz about Christopher Sanchez. And like his like come up, his trajectory, it reminds me a lot of Ranger Suarez because like if you remember, we used Christopher Sanchez kind of like in a hybrid like bullpen. You obviously he'd be like in that starting in that bullpen game type of situation. And now if you're Topper, like you trust Christopher Sanchez out on the start. And look at what he's doing for you right now. You talked about the ERA. It's absolutely phenomenal what he's doing. He's great at fielding, but he's feeling himself. He's finding his way here within the starting lineup. And it's great to see it. I mean, like we talked about the bullpen, right? We haven't seen them a lot. What do we know exactly from this bullpen? Well, when your pitchers are going at least 7 deep on every single start, I mean, do we really need that bullpen? But it's good to see. It's good to see Christopher Sanchez being a part of the starting lineup.
Yeah, I think he was hitting 97, 98 miles an hour yesterday in the 6th inning. Like this guy throws velocity, some, man. Yeah, he throws some gas. His changeup is one of the most unhittable balls in the major leagues this year. He has quietly been like a tremendous, and of course, I think majority of Phillies fans liked him last year, but it was one of those things where you're like, all right, I need to see it again to like really buy in. Ranger had kind of been there because of the postseason like success and just like coolness that he plays with. But Christopher Sanchez, I think, is legitimately a good pitcher. I don't think this is a flash in the pan scenario. I think this guy's got stuff. I mean, his breaking ball dives, his changeup is filthy, and he throws some gas too. And a little bit like he's not as cool as Ranger because I don't think anybody is in Major League Baseball.
But he's got a little bit of that demeanor where like nothing bothers him.
Yeah, he has a very calm demeanor on the mound. Same type of thing. So really, really great stuff. JP, I don't know on another Phillies note if there's been a more Philadelphian type of player than Bryce Harper. This guy plays the game like, of course he's great as a player. He plays the game like every hoagie mouth in Philadelphia that has ever watched Phillies baseball wants their players to play. He got ejected last Friday, his 21st career ejection, the most in Major League Baseball by almost 3 times. I think the second place is 8. He plays tough. He plays hard. He's exactly what Philadelphians want in a baseball player. He's got that Chase Utley kind of just like grittiness to him while being a superstar. It's exactly what you want to see, coupled with the skill that he has. It really, really just kind of want to throw some bouquets at Bryce because I love the passion in which he plays with. Like he shouldn't have been ejected. Stupid umpire 120, who again was the I believe is the second worst graded umpire in Major League Baseball this year. Had a horrible game last night, and he only had an 84% correct call rate, which was I think really, really bad this year. Yeah. Bryce Harper's just the most Philadelphian baseball player. He's perfectly molded for this town.
Yeah, you're spot on, man. And obviously, like, he's a superstar, so that's like the extra part about it. That he's one of the best players in baseball. But dude, he panders to us, man. Like even like something as little,
eat it up.
Yeah, something as little as like wearing like the Fanatics cleats, right? Like that gets us all giddy. Yeah, I saw the video. It was like 2 years ago where he's trading the hat with the kid in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted the snap.
That was after another ejection. Oh, I was thinking the helmet.
Nah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But that was another ejection.
Yeah. he trades the hat with, and like that. That's the type of things that we love here in Philadelphia. Like he gets the DNA of what it is to being a Philadelphian, and he shows it out there every single game he's out there. I mean, listen, that ejection yesterday. I get it. I mean, like, listen, no one wants to get a ball thrown at them, especially like if you're Bryce Harper. Remember the Snell situation last year where it pretty much knocked him out for a third of the season. So you definitely get a little worried if you are Bryce Harper. But I guess the question is, Jamie Lynch, which brawl was better? This one from yesterday or the 2011 with our boy Shane Victorino versus Eli?
Shane jumping on that guy's back was definitely better. Yesterday they were like tickle fighting and blowing kisses at each other. That wasn't literally. That was a pathetic benches clearing. If you're like Bryce was justified to charge the mound yesterday, mistake or not. Like this is my kind of caveman take. You know, everybody has like their old man yell at cloud take or their caveman take. My caveman take is fighting in baseball is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a self-police sport. We'll talk to Bill about this because hockey is the only thing where it's still accepted, and it's still not the same as it was even 10, 15 years ago. Because, look, as a society, we're getting smarter about player safety and health and all that.
CTs are a real thing.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm all for prevention. That being said, nothing better in sports than when a batter charges the mound.
They used to have a video game that you could do it, where you could actually fight.
Oh, yeah.
An MLB game where you could actually like charge the mound and fight the pitcher.
I don't know what it is. It's I am a caveman when it comes to this take. I love it. I don't know. There's something about like the game policing itself, the teammates having your back. Like, dude, I don't know. I enjoy it.
Dude, our dugout came out so quick. And then the Giants were like, we really about to do this on a Wednesday afternoon?
It's getaway day, guys. We got to hit the road. You're going back home. Yeah. I'm not fighting right now.
But, dude, our team, we were right there ready for that, for whatever was about to happen. Obviously, we're not going to have like a full-on 80s brawl.
It would be cool.
For sure. A couple of punches.
I'm not saying Juan Marichal pull out the bats, but, you know, a couple fake baseball punches never hurt anyone. But I think it speaks to this team, and like it almost seems like cohesiveness wise over these last 3 years, it's been like a little too good to be true, because you have the proper mix of like young guys that have come up through the system, then you have the high paid superstars, and then you have a lot of like scrap heap guys in the bullpen that have turned into really nice careers. So it's like it's a melding pot of a lot of things, and their cohesiveness has just been like remarkable. And I heard Kyle Schwarber in spring training talking about Rob Thompson, and he's like, the best thing I can say about a manager is that everybody in that dugout would jump over the railing in a second to defend him. And you kind of saw that with Bryce yesterday too. And I think the point is they have it for every single guy on that team. Yeah. I think that's a real credit to Kyle Schwarber, who's probably the leader of this team.
For sure.
Bryce Harper is definitely up there because you saw the reaction, as you pointed out. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a huge credit to Rob Thompson, kind of being the steward of that clubhouse. The baseball manager's toughest job over the course of a year is the clubhouse atmosphere. Next is probably managing a bullpen and making the right decisions. Outside of that, like, you got to trust your players to go play the game. So I think Rob Thompson, from a locker room gelling cohesiveness, is just like, he's aces.
He knows what to do.
This team is tight, man.
He knows exactly what to do. And like, obviously this team, you have some high paid guys, right? But this team was built together so well that these guys are a cohesive unit. That's so important. Obviously, in baseball, you have to spend the money, but it's still a sport, right? You still need good team chemistry, and they're getting that. And like, we talked about it throughout the week. People are upset with Nick Castellanos. People are going to want. There's fan base. There's a contingency that wants to trade him away.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. No, definitely good luck. But like, I mean, James, like, Nick is also really important for that dugout, that clubhouse vibe, and just the cohesiveness as well. And oh, by the way, yesterday he goes 3 for 5 too. We were talking about benching him yesterday. He had a solid game too. But like, everyone is so important for what we're trying to build and what we're trying to do for the rest of the season. So it's fun to watch all these guys just feeding off each other and having a good time. It's a game at the end of the day. They're having fun doing it.
Yeah, it really is. And Nick Castellanos, obviously great to get that ball carry out yesterday. Right off the top of the glove there, barely got out. But, that's hopefully something he can build on and carry through. We had the discussion yesterday of, has the Castellanos signing been bad? And I'm not there yet. It's definitely trending in that direction.
Right.
But Nick had, some career highs last year, and he looked a little bit like his old self. The first year, probably a little bit more down than up. But he's a guy that you need because, like you said, you're not going to trade him. You're not going to eat money and give away prospects to unload them. You're going to kind of go down with the ship, for the lack of a better term here. So the only real option is that Nick Castellanos figures it out. And you have been seeing over the last 2 weeks some harder hit balls from him.
For sure.
So hopefully that's something he brings back home with him. Hopefully Liam gets up here full time and he turns the corner and this guy was an all-star last year. So like, when things are great, you kind of nitpick people. And right now, Taijuan Walker and Nick Castellanos are the guys that are going to get nitpicked. And that's the life of a Philadelphia athlete.
I mean, you hit it perfectly yesterday. Unbutton one of those buttons.
Get a little slutty out there. Come on.
Is the Liam effect a real thing?
Dude.
He lives in Florida part-time with his mom, but I think he's homeschooled. And why I know all this, I don't know. Probably just because I read too
I
much
think
Philly
Mrs.
stuff.
Castellanos, the mom, talked about that.
Yeah, I think she did. And
Mrs.
I'm hoping he
Castellanos.
comes up here for the summer, like once schooling is over.
But he definitely plays better with Liam in
It feels
the park.
like it, doesn't it? Like the connection they have and like giving pounds before. Maybe it puts his mind
We'll have to
at
see,
a
man.
calm.
At ease, yeah.
My wife used to come to our softball games, and I was a pretty solid softball player. Not like great by any means, but, left center fielder, heart of the order kind of guy.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And I would play pretty well, and then my wife would come, and I would, like, strike out.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, babe,
that
I
effect
swear,
is
like,
real.
I'm not, like, inept. Like, I'm okay. You came, and I folded. So maybe Nick's the opposite with Liam there. It calms him down, and we'll see. But the Phillies coming back home now. No blood given up in the NL East.
Cardinals also did just beat they beat the Reds yesterday, but they also won that series too. So we'll see if they got a little mojo coming down here.
And we will absolutely take a moment today to laugh at the Mets.
Oh,
Should we just do it right now? Should we all take a moment to just laugh at the Mets?
I love the Mets, man.
Yeah. Jorge Lopez yesterday. This was just great. He leaves the game. He gets ejected. He throws his glove into the stands, and he proceeds to go to the locker room to the media scrum and basically says, we're the worst bleeping team in the major leagues.
Does he know about the Miami Marlins?
I think he just means it feels like it.
For sure.
Right after he made those comments, I want to say about an hour and a half later, he was DFA'd. So Jorge Lopez has had some levels of success in this league. I wonder if Dave Dombrowski and Sam Fold this morning are going.
How funny would that be, though, James? He comes here, comes like a solid bullpen.
It would be awesome. I mean, I saw a tweet yesterday. I don't know who said it. It's just I'm too online, so I just see all these tweets and it like.
You're like
VG.
VG.
Yeah, way too online. One of the tweets said basically like, you better go get Lopez before Alex Anthopoulos and the Braves turn him into a guy with a 1.2 ERA the rest of the year that you have to see in the playoffs. So I'll ask Jim about it. I wonder because he has had some success in this league and he's free.
Right.
And you always want to add bullpen arms. So like, why not? Bring them on in. But the Mets lose again in hilarious fashion. Not that you cheer for injuries ever. Because that's bad vibes and juju.
Oh, for sure.
But Pete Alonso took another one on the hand yesterday, getting some x-rays. It feels like he breaks his hand every year.
Right.
And I kind of hate Pete Alonso, but I don't wish injury on him, obviously. Like that whole home run derby thing a couple years ago where he was getting his weightlifting in. Like, chill out, dude. Like, relax. You getting your pump on? So he
is kind of a tool, but yeah.
Yeah, he might have broken his hand yesterday. And he was going to get traded most likely. He still probably will, depending on the severity of the injury. But the Mets, like, not even being able to sell off properly would bring me a lot of joy. It would make me quite happy.
You think Cohen's second guessing this?
It hasn't been good under him.
No.
And I'll raise my hand. When Steve Cohen took over the ownership of the Mets, I was a little bit terrified of how they were going to go spend their money. And they have spent the most in baseball this year and unsuccessfully. And it's pretty great.
It's what we just talked about, dude. Like obviously you have to spend money in the sport, but you got to spend it smart. And the Phillies have been able to spend the money and bring in players that just fit. And this clubhouse, everyone just they're just feeding off of each other. And the Mets, they just threw money to everyone. Here, you want to play for the Mets? Here, you get some money. Everyone gets a money bag.
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable how much money they're wasting. I mean, they paid money to Scherzer and Verlander just to go away.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So the Mets' total team payroll this year is almost $308 million. The Phillies are at 244, which is fourth. But the Mets are ahead of the Yankees. Yankees have seen a lot of success in return on their investments. But they just came out last week, Hank Steinbrenner, and said basically we can't sustain this level of paying for the future. So, bunch of broke boys around MLB. And here's John Middleton throwing around cigar money, opening new Dominican academies yesterday, which was really cool to see. So if you didn't see it, the Dominican Academy renamed some fields yesterday at the Phillies complex. Juan Samuel got a field named after him.
Yes.
Bobby Abreu. Yeah. Gets a field named after him. And the nearest and dearest to all of our hearts, Senor Octobre, Carlos Ruiz gets a field named after him. Always love to see Chooch. So very cool thing for the Phillies yesterday
I
to
love
have
seeing that because, like, listen, you know me, I'm an annoyingly proud Latino, and like, you know, I miss the days of having a bunch of Latinos in the lineup only because of the walk-up song. When I hear that dembow reggaeton, I'm like,
your hips just start flaring.
Yeah,
I get it.
I gotta miss that. I get it a little bit with it. Well, Edmundo Sosa, did he change it? Because he had the B words love Sosa for a little bit with the clean edition.
I have to admit, I am almost numb or mute to walk-up songs anymore.
I get it.
Some people know
Even Bryson.
Oh, well, that
Living in
one
a
my
big
girls
blue
love.
world.
Yeah,
Oh,
so we
that's
listen to
awesome,
that
dude.
all the time.
It's a
That
great
one I
one.
got. But like Bryce Harper changes his in game.
Yeah.
Like one's like a rotate. He always starts with like, what is it, Moby? And then the second one's like a hot country song. And then the third one's something different. And like, I just can't keep up anymore. He puts so much effort into his showmanship. I appreciate it. I'm not ripping him for it. But like,
That's why everyone loves
I like
Bryce,
Schwarber with the hip hop. You know,
is he a hip hop? See, like I didn't even know.
Is it Gangster's Paradise he had?
I think so.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah.
It's good. Nick Castellanos is also a good one. Well, guys, listen, summer's here, right? We're all talking baseball. We're all getting giddy about the Phils. Well, let me tell you about Rite Aid because, guys, this upcoming summer, Rite Aid's going to be our summer center for last-minute things. Because, listen, it always happens, right? You forget Band-Aids, you forget sunblock, whatever it may be. Think about Rite Aid because they got you guys here with the summer center. Pool day supplies. Goggles, floaties. Floaties, guys, extremely important. Sunscreen to check off everything you need with one stop at Rite Aid. Sunscreen for the whole family. Lather up before you go out, guys. Listen, sunburn is not fun. Make sure you guys check that out over at Rite Aid. Get your sunscreen on. First aid supplies. Stock up on bug spray and bandages as someone with sweet blood. That's extremely helpful. Pick up a first aid kit while you're there as well. Snacks and drinks because there's no pool day or beach trip without the snacks, all right? And you got to have the bevs as well. Picnic supplies, paper supplies, and much more. And the best part about it, there are ice cream center as well. Try the new Thrifty ice cream. Pick up a container today. It's only available exclusively at Rite Aid. I'm going to go ahead and pick myself up a cookies and cream pint on my way home. And here's what we got to do. Right?
Cookies and cream. What up?
Yeah, absolutely. Save $10 in Rite Aid bonus cash when you spend $501. This offer is available through June 1st, in-store only. Visit riteaid.com/weekly deals. This offer is valid through June 1st, 2024. Purchase must be eligible products in a single transaction, excluding sales tax, and after all other applicable discounts are applied. Limit one per transaction, redeemable only at Rite Aid pharmacy stores, no cash given, not valid if duplicated, not valid on prescriptions and co-pays, alcohol, tobacco products, lottery, money services, gift cards, prepaid cards, newspaper stamps, online purchases, mailing services, licenses, or items excluded by law. Lost, stolen, damage or expired coupons will not be honored or replaced. Not responsible for unattended redemption. Rite Aid rewards account required. Cannot be combined with like offers. So, guys, this summer you need a last minute thing. Check out the summer center here at Rite Aid.
With kids, you always forget something wherever you go, so it's always good to have a Rite Aid close by. Let me tell you about our friends over at TrueMark Financial because I'm a big believer in companies and businesses that invest in the area, that care about the area, because it's important. They employ people in the area. They care about the community and people in the area. And that's exactly what you get with TrueMark Financial Credit Union. When you join a credit union like TrueMark Financial, you become a part owner. So the profits come back to you instead of going out to these faceless shareholders. Better rates, lower fees, and a better return on savings, and more flexible options with all the same digital tools and tech that make your life easier. TrueMark has local roots. They're right down the road from where I live in Fort Washington, and they have 24 branches in the Philadelphia area. They serve our community and our people right here at home. Becoming a member at TrueMark and a credit union has so many benefits of being a customer at a bank. It's a total no-brainer. Head over to TrueMark.com/PHLY to learn more or to find a branch near you. That's TrueMark.com/PHLY, federally insured by the NCUA. All right, it's an honor now to bring on a man that I have a feeling is a lover of ice cream, as you were just talking about cookies and cream ice cream, and now that's totally inceptioned in my head. I think I'm going to get some ice cream today. It's our friend Jim Salisbury. Jim, what is your go-to ice cream flavor?
If if it's the summertime and I can find peach ice cream, I'm there.
Ooh.
Anything peach, I'm all over. Matter of fact, so being on the road all those years, you go to Cincinnati, and they have a local ice cream called Grater's.
Ooh.
And it was always within walking distance from the hotel, and they would in the midsummer always have peach ice cream. I'm telling you, man, I'm getting in the line twice.
What was your go-to order with Frankie Two Scoops down at Citizens Bank Park?
Oh man, I like all ice cream.
Okay, yeah, I'm saying
Maybe a little fudge ripple or something like that.
Ooh.
But
Yeah, the Graham Slam is back, Jim.
What's that?
The Graham Slam is back. The Turkey Hill Graham Slam. It's in stores. People have spotted it in the wild.
Yeah, Grand Slam. There's actually also a place like near me where I live, and they do banana ice cream. Unbelievable.
Ooh, I'm a big black raspberry fan. I'm with you. A lot of those fruit ones are really good.
Yeah.
I guess we should talk about baseball now, Jim.
I
A real kerfuffle yesterday at Oracle Park. You like that?
A rhubarb, a Donnybrook.
Donnybrook is a great one. Bryce Harper was angry yesterday. I was just talking about it, Jim. As a Philadelphia sports fan, Bryce Harper kind of embodies every single thing you want to see out of your star athlete. He now has 21 injections. It's the most in baseball by almost triple. He plays with the passion and intensity that you want to see in your athlete. And even though nothing happened yesterday, I love seeing the fire out of him.
Yeah, and I think this fire was completely justified.
Yeah.
One of the most remarkable things, honestly, if I were to measure it all up, all my years of covering baseball, maybe the most remarkable thing I have ever seen was the night he got hit in the face with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Hit in the face and walked away.
Yeah.
Now, think about what that could have done to his life, his career. I grew up in New England, and I was a little young at the time, but the legend of Tony Canigliaro and getting beamed in the face and how that changed his career and his life. I mean, you think about, and Bryce Harper got 96 in the cheekbone, walked away from it. That hit him with such impact that it ricocheted off his cheek and injured his wrist, if you remember. So I can see where he would react angrily like that. And I thought he showed a lot of understanding in not going to the mound.
Sure.
Because he barks at the kid after the first one. And you can argue whether he was right or wrong to do that. But to me, I think that was visceral. It was coming from it was coming from 4 years ago in St. Louis when he got hit in the face with 96 and saw his life flash before his eyes. It was a visceral reaction. Now, you're a young pitcher, rookie pitcher on the mound, and the Bryce Harper barks at you. It's in the back of your mind, and you're saying to yourself, I can't come near him on this pitch. Even the catcher set up away. And it's like when you stand over a ball and you say, I'm not going to hit this ball in the water. I'm not going to hit this ball in the water. I better not hit this
You're
ball in the
toast
water.
once you do that.
And you hit it in the water.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's what happened to the pitcher. And after the game, Harper said he didn't do it on purpose. It was a sinker that got away. But I can see why he was upset. I think it was good that cooler heads prevailed, and they didn't have a all-out bench clear with fists being thrown, because you don't want to see anybody get hurt. You got a hell of a team. You can't afford to lose people, especially guys like, anybody. You can't afford to lose anybody. So, but to get back to your question, he's got a lot of fire. I mean, I heard him take some heat because he didn't run out the next ground ball, but I'm not sure where his head was after that. Yeah. I'm not sure where my head would be after taking not one, but two right under the chin with his history. So, I hear people say you should hustle that ball out. Like, to me, that's a separate incident that stands alone. I watch him go. This guy wants to win. You mentioned fire and passion, how much he wants to win. Watch Bryce Harper go first to home on a double sometime with the game on the line. He's a freaking madman.
Yeah.
First to home, the way he runs to try to win a game. So, yeah, I do think he embodies Philadelphia, and he's a lot of fun to watch. He didn't have a great road trip, but neither did Stott, neither did Bohm, neither did the team. And we talk about it all the time. When you get three guys hot boom, something really special can happen. Three of your big guns go cold. They have a tough road trip. But yeah.
Yeah. And Jim joins us as part of the news of the day, the big story presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out TrueMark.com/PHLY or stop into your local branch to learn more about the credit union difference at TrueMark Financial today. Jim, one of the things I was talking about in the open too, I think this is a real credit to Rob Thompson. I think the toughest job a manager has over the course of the year is managing the clubhouse and the personalities and making sure everybody has each other's back. You've seen it now with this team since Rob has taken over, and Kyle Schwarber talked about it in spring training. They would hop over the railing for him in a second. They would hop over the railing for any one of their guys in any second. This team is just really, really a tight-knit group, even as an outsider that's not in the locker room daily. You can just tell that this team has each other's back. And I think it's a big part of their secret sauce.
No question. Togetherness and chemistry, it all goes together. I remember doing a story about this late in 2022, how they had come together. And kind of the angle on the story was, Schwarber would lug a bunch of guys out there early, like at 2:30 to hit against the curveball machine. Laugh if you want. We know this, but there is such a thing. And
Gabe Kapler.
It actually it actually has a function, but all of a sudden now you have 8, 9, 10 guys out there extra hitting, hot, way before game time, and they'd be playing games and they'd be getting on each other and razzing each other. And it really built a lot of togetherness. And one of the quotes in that story was Schwarber saying, "The good teams are close, close this way." I remember talking to John Kruk about this in 2011, and he was on a team, 93, that was very close and had a lot of success. But I remember talking to Kruk about this at the All-Star game in Phoenix in 2011, and all their All-Stars traveled together and chartered a plane and took their families. And, these are guys around each other every day for 7 months, but they went together to the All-Star game and made it a family thing. And Kruk flat out said, that's why they're good. They like each other. They're close. So you can say that winning breeds that, or you can say togetherness breeds winning. I don't care. As long as you have it, it's really special. And yeah, these guys have it. They have each other's back. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah, it's great to see. One of the other things that's great to see with this team, Jim, is Christopher Sanchez is really, really emerging as a bona fide, just good pitcher. You can number him whatever the hell you want. On some teams, I feel like he could be a 2 or a 3 with how well he's pitching yesterday. The bottom line is 4/5 of this Phillies rotation have top 15 ERAs in the National League. Shota Imanaga gets shelled yesterday for 7 earned runs, and now Ranger Suarez is your NL ERA leader. Zach Wheeler's a Cy Young candidate, even when he doesn't get run support. Mm-hmm. It almost doesn't feel real to compare this team to those 2010 and 2011 staffs, but they're right there. And, I think when we get to the All-Star break, we can really start feeling like it's okay to have these thoughts. Christopher Sanchez was spectacular yesterday.
Yeah, he's really graduated from being a thrower to a pitcher. He's putting his four-seamer in good spots. He's thrown a little bit of a cutter, but that changeup is such a separator for him. So many people have done a good job on that one, from the trade they made, Matt Klentak picking him up,
sure,
to their player development people in the minor leagues, to their big league pitching coaches and their staff, pitching development staff at the big league level. He's really gotten better before our eyes at the big league level. So, yeah, what a month of May he had. I think he made 5 starts. I think they were 4-1, which is how I look at it. Give me the record when that guy's on the mound.
Sure.
So the team was 4-1, and he had a 2.03 ERA. Getting better right before our eyes. There was a lot of uncertainty in that spot coming into spring training, and I don't want to say 4 or 5 spot, it's just his spot. There was uncertainty, and he's quickly dismissing it. He's quickly becoming a guy. I mean, he had bookend starts on this road trip, great starts. Got it off to a good start and finished it up with a great one. When you needed a win yesterday, tough trip, long flight home. Those flights home suck when you have a tough trip and now you got to fly through the night. It makes it a lot easier when you got a victory, and it all starts with starting pitching. So hats off to Christopher Sanchez for being the guy who kind of got that trip finished on a good note.
Yeah, I mean the difference between 2-4 and 1-5 is huge. You left on this road trip up 6, you come home up 6, so there's no blood, which is amazing for how it felt, because it felt eye test and optically just like that was bad baseball being played. One of the things that a lot of people are talking about, Jim, whether on Twitter or the radio airwaves or here at PHLY, is Taijuan Walker. Obviously struggling a little bit. He's an interesting pitcher in that we all know his first inning struggles kind of historically. Then a second time through the order, he's phenomenal. And then the third time through the order, back to struggling a little bit. I've tossed around the idea with you and Renee about piggybacking him with Spencer Turnbull, which I don't think anybody really likes the idea of piggybacking. Do you think there's a way that Rob Thompson is going to manage Taijuan Walker going forward differently, because he's getting barreled up, he's getting hit hard, he's leaving stuff over the plate, there's no finish? Do you expect anything different, or is this Rob's going to trust his guy to go out there and eat some innings for him?
Well, you're right. I mean, he is over the plate. He is getting hit hard. The innings are valuable, but
Sure.
if you're pitching to a 6 ERA, it becomes, where's the value in that? I think he's under a lot of scrutiny, not just with Rob Thompson. You say, how's Rob Thompson going to handle him? To me, it's an organizational thing, right up to the front office, how they're going to handle him. I mean, there's a contract situation. He signed for a couple more years. To me, you got a couple pluses here. One, you're winning, you're still winning. I mean, they have a bad road trip and they still come home with the best record in baseball. They've built some cushion. They've banked some wins. I think that allows you a little bit of patience, but not a ton for me. Not a ton for me. The athlete still has to deliver, still has to perform. And I don't think they're there yet as far as removing him from the rotation, and for a couple reasons. As I mentioned, team-wise, things are still going pretty good. But I don't know what you would do with him. I don't know that he could pitch out of the bullpen. I think Turnbull has more of a chance of being successful out of the bullpen. So I think maybe you give it a little more rope, a little more leash, but I wouldn't have a humongously long leash on this guy. And if you have to go back to Turnbull and now you have a complication there, he's probably definitely not as stretched as he was, maybe not stretched at all. Maybe you could piggyback him with a guy like Strom and use Turnbull as the opener if you went back to him until he got stretched. But I still think a big question that is probably in their mind is, what do you do with Taijuan Walker? And the fact that they have a cushion probably gives them a little bit more patience, but I wouldn't have a ton. I wouldn't have a ton, especially with Spencer Turnbull there and able to come back and eventually build up to fill that role. But thank goodness, Turnbull can give you something out of the bullpen, because I'm not sure Walker fits there.
No, Turnbull's got swing and miss stuff. Walker right now does not.
One's hitting over 300 and they're barreling him, and on Walker, they need more out of the guy. You could say that about a few guys. Despite the great start, they need more out of several guys if they're going to take this thing where they want to go.
Yeah, and the presenting sponsor during this segment is Bet Parks, the Bet Parks Sportsbook and Casino, another local company that cares about the community. So make sure you're betting with Bet Parks. Jim, you mentioned it when we first started talking at the beginning of the year. Brandon Marsh was on a tear, and I think over the course of May they faced 13 lefties, which is pretty wild. A lot of downtime for Marsh this month. We all know the struggles versus left-handed pitchers. I didn't think a platoon outfield situation would be a realistic one a couple weeks ago, but the more and more I think about it as the trade deadline approaches in about 5 or 6 weeks, do you think somebody that can – because Marsh is interchangeable between center and left. He gives you some optionality there. Castellanos, we all know the struggles. Johan at the plate is what he is. Marsh, you don't want to see him in the playoffs versus a lefty. Do you think there's a platoon outfield veteran type of guy that could be on the Phillies? I'm not asking for names, but do you think this is something they're going to possibly address?
Well, I do think, yeah. I mean, if it was me, I would have outfield bat on my radar. If you look at their across the board outfield production, 3 spots. I mean, they're in the bottom third in the league offensively in a number of important categories. Now, some of that could be solved if Castellanos gets going.
Sure.
I see him as a guy that's going to stay in the lineup. Some of that could be solved if you got more out of Merrifield. Some of that could be solved if you got more out of Rojas. But yeah, on my radar, outfield, more offense in the outfield would be something I'd start to look at. I think you often use the first third of the season to kind of survey what you have. The second third of the season is where you make those adjustments. And for the final third is when you kick it in gear. So, I need Rojas has not played as well defensively. That's his calling card. It hasn't been the loud calling card that you want it to be to justify him there. To me, he looks like a guy who needs some more time in AAA. We've seen it now for a third of the season. You've made your evaluations. I wonder if they would tinker there. You'd have to get something out of Merrifield because you'd probably need to play him in a platoon situation in left field if you moved they're clearly looking at Pache more against left-handers, right?
Yeah.
So maybe Pache and Marsh could handle center field. And you need to get more out of Merrifield, but you also would need an injection of more offense, another outfield bat, depending on what you did with Rojas. So I look at the outfield as quietly in flux. I think it's probably something they're surveying and maybe plotting some strategy because you'd like to see more production out there. And it just seems like Rojas could use some more time as we get into the second third of the season. Now, if Castellanos gets going, Rojas gets going, you get more out of Merrifield, that gives Rob Thompson a lot of options. But Pache's been,
he's kind of answered the call a little bit.
Yeah, he's been doing okay against lefties. So, maybe there's, something there you could do in center field while you plot strategy for how you're going to get more out there. So, I don't know what they're going to do, but I'll tell you what, it would be on my radar, more offense out there and getting more out of center field because I'm just not getting enough out of Rojas, even in the areas where you thought it would be his strength.
Yeah, it's a shame David Dahl, who's hitting the cover off the ball down in Lehigh, is another left-handed bat. If he was right-handed, you might be able to take a look at him. We'll see there. But, Jim, keep up the great work. I know you spoke recently with Chase Utley on your podcast. You looking forward to the London series yourself? How's Mr. London, England, Chase Utley feeling about it? He's pretty excited, I bet.
Well, he was extremely excited to see his team come over to where he's living. It should be a lot of fun. I'm sure the Phillies fans travel well. And they're playing a team that is reeling. You have to go over there and enjoy the fish and chips and enjoy the atmosphere, but you got to pound those Mets. It's two big games.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of the Mets, with Lopez yesterday getting DFA'd, he's a guy that's had some success in this league.
I mentioned that to somebody this morning. I wonder if the Phillies would pick him up. That would be quite the.
I was kind of thinking about it. Like, it feels like the Braves are just going to go scoop him up, and he's going to have a 1.0 ERA. So maybe he's a guy they consider.
Yeah, I don't think what happened yesterday helps his cause. No. That might be a little bit of a tough sell, but I have some opinions on that. I've been listening to that. The audio there, the video and the audio, and boy, he's from Puerto Rico. Spanish is his native language, and Major League Baseball has interpreters for every team. Every team employs an interpreter, and I know he may have said, "I want to do this on my own." I would point that out.
Yeah,
it appears he might have been able to use a little lifeline there. I wonder what happened there. I wasn't there. Again, I said he might have declined it. But to me, there's some question
lost
whether he
in
was
translation.
using the word. Yeah, am I a bad teammate or a bad team? Enough there that makes you scratch your head and maybe feel a little bit for him. In that moment in front of his locker. But he was given the opportunity to take it back, and he didn't. It goes back to you can't rip your shirt out and throw your glove in the stands. that doesn't look good. But going back to your point, it did cross my mind that would be quite the the na if somebody if the division picked him up and he went from a team that's plummeting to a team that's doing pretty well and end up being a contributor. We'll see. Baseball's a strange game. You never know.
It is. And those poor people in London have to watch Taijuan Walker versus Sean Manaea next Sunday. So that's tough. But Jim, keep up the great work here. You can check out Jim's writing on allphly.com. Always love our time together, Jim, and appreciate it. And we'll get out on the links soon, I promise.
Okay. Well, I'm hitting them so bad I might retire.
I've been there. I was just there last Saturday. It's all right. You got to play through it.
Okay.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, Jim.
See you.
There's Jim Salisbury, the great Jim Salisbury. Read his writing on allphly.com. All right, now we got to get to the grind, presented by Bet Parks Sportsbook. You know I'm a Bet Parksman. Bet Parks is the hometown sportsbook. It's the one we recommend. Check it out. They got all-day action no matter what the event is. If you want to get some late-night puck action, if Greg the Greek gives you a good tip here, as Brad is off with Anthony this week, so we had to call in our friend Greg the Greek. Now, Greg the Greek, you had a phenomenal Tuesday with us. I think you went
I was on fire.
3-1.
Yeah. I got humbled last night.
And then we bring John Marks in, and he threw you off.
Busted out his hairy chest, and everything went to hell. I couldn't focus on anything. I couldn't see right. My glasses fogged up.
It was those lovely Dr. Locks he's got. You were just mesmerized.
It's more about just ripping his chest hair out for us. It was weird.
Did he pull out the chest hair?
Yeah, he pulled out a little chest hair right when I was going to make my picks. Too much.
That's so. We'll blame John Marks for yesterday's record.
Yeah.
So let's get back to it.
We're even, so we're still having fun.
All right.
Let's try and have some fun.
And you have winning bets on my show.
Yes. So we should be
losing
good.
bets on John Marks' show.
So
here we go.
The trend is good. We like trends.
So what's got your eye today there, Greg?
You and I thought the T-Wolves were done. They showed some life. So I think I'm going to hop this. They come home. And I'm a big fan of the old reverse line movement.
Yes, you are.
So you see a bunch of money and picks coming in on Dallas right now. And the line opened at 4. It's at 4.5. So they're screaming T-Wolves tonight, I think. T-Wolves minus 4.5. It's minus 109 on Bet Parks. So we'll start off with a little NBA action there.
Love that. I'll be watching the game tonight. Looking forward to it. Luka and Anthony Edwards are like must-watch TV to me.
It's been fun.
It has been fun. And the Timberwolves probably just aren't there yet in terms of moving on.
Yeah.
But they're going to be a damn force for a little bit here.
Yeah, it's like a learning experience for them right now.
Yeah, and the learning experience is Rudy Gobert to me just kills offenses.
I hate him, though. I just hate the look of him. I hate him.
I know, I do too.
I hate him.
And just he just clogs up offenses.
Yes,
and if you stretch him out, the defense just is.
He's like the Jersey trap in hockey. It's just get him out. They make a Gobert rule so he can open up some offense.
And I love how Barkley and Shaq just shit on him. They're just get this guy off the court. He's killing Anthony Edwards in the offense. But it has been a very good playoffs for the most part. I mean, the East has been pretty lame, but the West has been some good games.
Yeah.
So I like that. What else you got for us?
We're going hockey. Another reverse line movement.
Pucks.
Yeah. The public, the Rangers are involved, so New York skews the line, but the public's all over the Rangers. I think 58% of the money's coming in on the Rangers, and Panthers went from minus 113 to minus 127 on Parks. So, hop on that. It's always good to bet against New York.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable to bet against New York. I feel you on that. All right, what else you got?
This one is opposite. I'm going to bet with New York.
Ooh,
I can't see the Yankees losing a series to the Angels. They got Carlos Rodon on the mound. Patrick Sandoval's going for the Angels. He stinks. So I'm going to grab the Yankees minus 1.5. That's minus 110 on Bet Parks.
I love a run line over a money line.
Yeah.
Because baseball to me is the most difficult to bet because
it's not fun.
Yeah, money lines are always too expensive
if
it's a great pitcher. And then you look at the run line and it doesn't seem that hard to win by 2, but it kind of is difficult to win by 2 sometimes.
And I prefer doing the away teams because the home team, they get one run and the go ahead and game's over. So I like doing the run line on the away.
Yeah.
The away squads.
All right, that's 3. You got a fourth for us?
Of course.
We
got to go under because we always do one tribute to Brad.
This is the Brad Feinberg under special.
Yes. Yeah. And it's 2 pitchers with a ton of talent who are a little up and down. The Tigers got Jake Flaherty going. The Bo Sox with Nick Pivetta. The under is 7.5. Flaherty's been pitching pretty well.
He's been K-ing people wild.
And Nick's been okay.
Is he leading? He might be leading.
In case? Flaherty?
Yeah,
No.
like he was up there. Hold on. I'll pull that up while you give the rest of your
So,
pick.
yeah, it's under 7.5. That's minus 104 on Bet Parks. That dropped, actually, from 8 to 7.5. So it looks like it's creeping that way.
And under in baseball, you got big nuts on you today there, VG.
Yeah. Well, the big nuts are coming. I got one local special for you.
Jack Flaherty is now 7th.
7th?
Would you like to hear the top 7?
Yeah, of course.
Actually, we'll just go to number 11 because that's our sweet boy Ranger. Number 1, Tyler Glasnow. Number 2, Garrett Crochet, who's been probably going to get traded by the deadline, I would imagine, from the White Sox. Zach Wheeler, tied with Crochet at number 2. Cole Reagans, number 4. Dylan Cease, 5. Freddie Peralta, also tied for 5th. Jack Flaherty, 7th. Tarek Skubal comes in at number 8. Luis Gill, number 9. Chris Sale, that rat bastard, you Braves. I said it at the time. I was like, this means he's going to pitch 200 innings and he's going to average like 14 Ks per 9 again. And then Ranger Suarez, number 11, right behind Chris Sale.
Freddie Peralta is always sneaky. I never draft him in fantasy.
He's so good.
Yeah.
The Brewers are really good at finding sneaky good pitching all the time. So, yeah, Jack Flaherty, all right, and under. I like it.
Yeah, so the big nut one is a local tie. My Penn Quakers, they're in the tournament. They're a plus 4,000 to win the Charlottesville region in the baseball tournament.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They got any Doug Glanvilles on the squad this year?
No, they're solid. They won the Ivy. They came back and swept, I think, Cordell. They play Friday. They play tomorrow. So, little local
It's
action.
down in Charlottesville?
Yeah.
Okay.
Throw $5 on it.
Yeah.
Throw in like $200.
Get spicy.
Yeah. Have some fun.
All right. Love it. That's good stuff. That's good work by you, VG.
We'll see.
All right. Let's see. Tomorrow morning when we're back, we'll hopefully take this to another 1-3 record. And that, of course, and this portion of the show is all brought to you by Bet Parks. It's the Bet Parks Sportsbook. I'm a Bet Parksman. Are you? You should. They're great people over there at Bet Parks, and you can get in the zone with all-day action on the Sportsbook app. Money is in the moments. We just talked about some of the bets tonight. I'm looking right now at the Bet Park Sportsbook app. I do like that Florida Panthers pick a little bit. Of course, Dallas and Minnesota back at it tonight. Minnesota minus 4.5 point favorite on the Bet Park Sportsbook. And, of course, in baseball, if you want to hop on some of the action all day, games starting at 1:10 today, a couple 4:10 games, so it's spaced out nice for you on probably getaway day for some of these teams. But whatever it is you're looking for, Bet Parks has got you covered. The Copa Cup's coming up. Maybe JP can give you some picks on that sometime soon.
Vamos Colombia.
But if you bet your first $10, you can earn $125 in sports bonus bets. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet with Bet Parks. Download the app today and play along with us. Must be 21 or older. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
That's right, Jamie. Yeah, it's Copa America time. That means I'm going to be heading right to the grill, cooking up some churrasco for me and the family while we're watching Colombia.
I need some of that.
Yeah, right?
Well, what is it?
Churrasco?
Yeah.
It's just skirt steak. We throw some chimichurri on
Oh,
top.
hell yeah.
Yeah, that's my go-to.
Homemade chimichurri, right? Yeah.
When I need father-in-law or brother to come down, do some help around the house,
Hell yeah.
I'm like, churrasco and you help out? We're in. So now I have Butcher Box, guys, to make this experience so much easier for me. Guys, it's grilling season. I just mentioned Copa America this upcoming July as well. So, guys, in the summertime, there's nothing better than having people over and grilling up some stuff. And so consider Butcher Box here. And there's 3 things that Butcher Box really, really tries to drive home. It's peace of mind, ultimate convenience, and incredible value, guys, right? So with that peace of mind, you're getting easily high-quality meat and seafood that you can trust. The beef is 100% grass-fed, as they have free-range organic chicken, pork raised, crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. All right, humanly raised, no antibiotics or added hormones. That's extremely important. The convenience part, right? So they deliver right to your front step. You don't have to go to the supermarket, right? It gets delivered right to your front step. The best part about it is they give you free shipping always, guys, all right? And then that incredible value, like I mentioned, all right? Listen, inflationary days is a real thing, right? Everything is going up in price, including our food, but we need food, right? Well, with ButcherBox, they have a variety of high-quality cuts at an amazing value, exclusive member deals, and recipe inspirations, guides, tips, and hacks. So if you want to, maybe you want a churrasco recipe, they may have that in there. You got to find out. Get that ButcherBox. So here's what you got to do, guys, all right? ButcherBox right now, for all of you amazing listeners, they're offering an amazing offer where new users get free meat plus $20 off your first box. Guys, that is the deal of the century. Join today using our link, butcherbox.com/PHLY. Use the code PHLY to receive this exclusive offer today before time runs out. There's your deal, guys. Head on over to butcherbox.com/PHLY. And maybe, listen, I might grill here, Jamie. I might grill.
Yeah, let's get a grill on the roof.
Yeah.
We can be big boys grilling on the roof. To go back a year in the internet lore, big boy grilling on the roof. And I told you about the Bet Park Sportsbook, but let me tell you about their casino as well, because Bet Parks has got you covered out there in Ben Salem. Whether you're down in South Philly at the old sportsbook and racetrack, the casino out in Ben Salem has a ton of stuff going on. The Femmes of Rock play classic rock on violins. Very cool act that's headlining this Friday night. Sebastian Bach, the lead singer of Skid Row, brings his solo tour on Saturday night. There's some things coming up in August and September, like Australian Pink Floyd. The Marshall Tucker Band is awesome. I think I got to make my way out there for them. Plus, they got the Jersey Shore podcast happening live with Snooki and Joey on June 28th. Comedian Michael Blaustein on October 25th. All at Parks Casino, the #1 casino in the state of Pennsylvania. This is how you win. Parks Casino, they have it all. 3,200 state-of-the-art slot games, 115 live table games, a beautiful poker room, and not to mention the dining options are amazing. The Havana Burger out there is tremendous. Plus, they got the steakhouse, the Liberty Bell Gastro Pub and Beer Garden. It's a great place to visit. So visit parkscasino.com. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Must be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, my next guest is a man I've listened to for many, many years. We kind of just missed each other, ships in the night, in our old careers and our old life paths. But I've always listened to him because this man used to hold down the WIP overnights with Big Daddy, and I would always listen to Bill Matz on my way into work doing the morning show at the other station when we were blood rivals, Bill. But it's great to actually crack a mic with you here. Welcome in to the Anthony Gargano Show. I am not Anthony Gargano.
You are not. No, you look a little different than Anthony, but no, it's awesome to be here.
Yeah, and you're like me. You're kind of malleable to all the sports. Hockey is obviously your #1. You, Kelly, and Charlie and Brenna do an awesome job covering the Flyers. What time today?
1 o'clock today.
1 o'clock. So make sure you're tuning in for the Flyers as it's a big offseason ahead, and we'll get into some Flyers talk. I am a proud Zamboner. But, Bill, I thought of you this morning for some reason because I feel like me and you have a lot of things that grind our gears in life that kind of set you off a little bit. Definitely. And I was getting my morning coffee, and I was wondering what your reaction would be to this. The mobile order ahead people versus the actual human being standing in front of you. I ordered my coffee, and I see this woman shaking up, and no offense to her, it's probably how the business is run. She's shaking up 3 or 4 different drinks, and I'm the only person in the store, just standing there in front of her, and she keeps making all these mobile orders. And it's a local place. It's not even one of these big chain places. And nobody's coming in to claim them. And I'm standing right there in front of her. And you don't want to be a dick, obviously, but I'm kind of like, they're not here. I'm right here. Don't I matter? So how would you feel in that situation?
I'll tell you, man, like the app reviews are absolutely precedent over like someone being mad in the store. Like, who just comes in and orders? You are a dying breed.
Yeah.
Like they don't care.
Well,
You're like
the drive-through window wasn't
Yeah.
open, so I had to park and go in reluctantly. So I was already kind of like agitated, and then I see all these fake internet people getting their drinks made before me, the only person standing in the store.
The people in the store are just like, okay, Grandpa, just read your paper over there. All right,
So
we'll
this
get
is
to
on
you.
me?
I wouldn't say it's on you. It's just kind of, I think the priority is like, yeah, man, we care about the person who's going to give us a 3-star instead of a 5-star review. You're just going to go home and talk about it on this show. Little do they know the power you have, Jamie.
I love the place, and it's a great local business, so I'm not going to rip them, but I just felt like I'm standing here watching all these drinks getting made. I'm like, hello,
None of them are
I'm
mine.
right here. This is insulting. So that's how my morning started. But it's great to have you in, Bill. Now, as a proud Zamboner, I classify myself as somebody, when the Flyers are good, I'm all in. I'll watch games. I started watching games again this year for the first time in what felt like 2 years. But I'm not going to know the prospects. Bobby Brinks of the world, guys like that, I'll know. But like, I like it when it's good. When it's down times, I kind of check out a little bit ish. But we have a big offseason ahead for the Flyers. Of course, we're awaiting Matvei Michkov coming over, which could be any day now. What is kind of the too long didn't read, I'm a dumb Zamboner, fill me in. What is this offseason? What should we be excited about?
The first thing is going to be the draft. Draft coming up at the end of June. The Flyers are picking 12th and probably around 30th, somewhere there. So they have 2 picks. They're in a really good spot at 12 where there's a few players that looks like there's that are going to fall to them that should be here within a year or two who could end up filling holes at either maybe the number one center position or the number one defense position, at least prospects that you think, all right, maybe they project to get there. They're going to fill some holes in the draft this year. Then on July 1st, there's a couple players eligible for extensions, the first of which is Travis Konechny. And the decision they make on him is going to have a lot of ripple effects. Either, okay, if he's not signed right away, does that mean we're trading one of the longest tenured guys, a guy who wears a letter, one of the leaders of this team, best player on the team right now?
What's his kind of market value out there?
It looks like over $8 million a year, maybe closer to $9 million. And for the full 8 years, it would be he's going to be 27. And his contract doesn't kick in for another year. So you're kind of signing a little bit of an older player. If you are to trade him, what kind of haul can you get back for him if he doesn't sign an extension? So that's a huge decision coming up. Everyone sort of assumes he's going to be re-signed, but I don't know. It seemed a little colder at the exit interviews than it was in the couple of weeks leading up.
So I've seen our Flyers Discord, which is tremendous. I love you
Become
people.
a diehard just for the Discord discourse.
The Flyers Discord alone. Anytime I go in there, people are typing.
Freaking out all the time.
You guys are great, very entertaining for me. And if you want to become a diehard, go to allphly.com. $79.99 gets you the diehard writing from our great, Charlie O'Connors and Zach Bermans and Jim Salisbury's and Les Bowens and Bo Wolfs and Derek Bodner and Kyle Newbeck. Great stuff there. Then we have our Discord channel. We have discounts on merchandise and events. We have a ton of great stuff for you. So if you ever want to support us in that way, we'd love to have you. And you get access to us in Discord. Now,
I love that you just rattled off all the writers as if it's not all the best writers in the city.
Yeah,
throw in Salisbury and Les Bowen, Yeah.
We got the best guys in town, so I got to pump them up.
Yeah.
The Flyers Discord seems a little torn on Konechny. Like, is this a decision that I guess there's no one really ever happy in Flyers land? Like,
Yeah.
Is there a win-win in this situation?
I would like to see Konechny retained, but there is the question of, like, at a certain point, you're going to need to save money somewhere. You can't, when Matvei Michkov comes over, you're going to have him cheap for a few years. But then you have to sign him, and then all of a sudden, all right, you're paying Travis Konechny $9 million. What if Michkov lives up to expectations, and now we have 2 right wingers both making $9, $10, $11 million?
Yeah.
We're not even talking number one centerman, not even talking number one defenseman. What happens when one of these goalies becomes awesome? If that were to happen, it's Philly, but it could happen. At a certain point, you have to make a tough decision. We all like Travis Konechny a lot. Right now, he's the best player on the team. But if he's the best player on the team 2-3 years from now, we're not very good. That's just what it comes down to.
So what's Jonesy and Danny a little bit. Jonesy's one of the best. You have an insight into his mind pre-president of the Flyers and also while president. How are they kind of viewing this? Like, is Matvei Michkov somebody that is so good that you have to plan for that financially? Like, how are they kind of, viewing the short-term, long-term tug of war here?
I think they understand the situation better than most Flyers GMs have in the past.
Okay.
Like, in the past, it's been,
he's not Chuck Fletcher.
They know that there's a salary cap, but maybe don't understand, well, that means we have to sometimes not get everything we want. And they very much believe in the culture and keeping a guy around, a homegrown player like Travis Konechny. But if he has a number in mind that he's not willing to bend on, I hope that they know that means you have to explore other options, whether it's taking a hard line and saying, all right, let's see how the season goes. Maybe you show us you're better than we think and we have to give you the money. Maybe it doesn't go so well and you can get them at a little bit of a discount. And maybe you just start fielding calls and say, maybe you're not actively shopping him yet, but
we're not
Listening.
listening.
Yeah, the phone's going to ring and I'm going to answer. It's going to be this is the toughest decision yet. I'm kind of leaning towards trading Travis Konechny because I like the player a lot. But at a certain point, you have to make room for these high-level guys that they don't have yet. They need to go get them. Where are they coming from, and how are they going to afford them?
So what are you getting back in a Konechny trade? Are you getting draft picks? Are you getting a young player? What does that type of trade look like?
I would like to see a lot of people have floated the idea of Martin Necas in Carolina. He's a little bit younger. He's going to make a little bit less. I would like that idea a lot. Good two-way player, puts up similar numbers to TK. I would like to see that, but I think it's going to be hopefully a player that fits the timeline a little better. You trade him to a Dallas. You trade him to a Colorado, an Edmonton. They're win right now teams.
Yeah.
They would love a 27-year-old
Sure.
in his prime. You trade him there and get back a guy. Listen, he's really good. He's on our third line because
he's too good for where we're at financially.
What are we going to develop a guy while we're chasing down cups? No, it's not what's going to happen. So that's sort of the player, the type of player I'd be eyeing up there.
Okay. Now you and I had a good laugh yesterday. PFT commenter had a pretty tremendous tweet as the Dallas Stars are doing really well. The Texas Rangers won the World Series, and I kind of believe the Dallas Mavericks are going to beat the Celtics in the NBA Finals. What would be hilarious would be if the three of them all won world titles and the Dallas Cowboys didn't make the playoffs.
It would just be as much as it's like Dallas sucks.
Yeah.
It's really the Cowboys, you know?
It's totally.
Because they're
the other teams don't offend me at all.
Not a little bit. not
Corey
the
Seager's
least,
hitting bombs right now. I'm like, this is great.
Not the least bit. It would be so damn funny that America's team was the fourth team in their own town. That would just really tickle me.
It would be great.
I would love to. Truly, that might be the best possible outcome.
It really could be because they would be so angry at three parades. You know, like it's like that emoji with the crying face and behind it. And
Michael Parsons being like, what? God damn it.
And this portion of the show is brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. The Anthony Gargano Show is presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out TrueMark.com/PHLY or just stop into one of the 24 area locations to learn more about the credit union difference at TrueMark Financial today. Now, Bill, you're also one of the biggest Phillies nuts I know. Which is something we share in common here. I believe you are going to London, right?
I am going to London, yes.
Oh, so give us the itinerary here. What is the Bill Matz, Ava Graham itinerary in London?
Given my relationship status, I do have access to a lot of pretty cool things. Like there's some rooftop parties and stuff that are going to happen. It's Ava's goal. She's like, if there's going to be somewhere Chase Utley shows up, you need to be there. And I just picture the episode where of Always Sunny where they get lost in the woods. Yeah. This is why I don't leave Philadelphia. And Dennis gets to meet Chase Utley, and they have the catch. Like I just want to send that picture to my friends. Like, do you have a good relationship with your father?
Me neither.
Me neither. Like I would so badly love to meet Chase, but it's just going to be an awesome time. Like I've never been over to London before.
Oh, London's great.
So we're going to do some of that stuff. Ava's been, so she knows like all the spots.
You can do the Ron Swanson in front of the Big Ben. Like, hey, a big clock. We don't have those.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's going to be really cool. I'm just looking forward to it, and obviously repping Philly while you're there.
Sure,
that's what you do when you go overseas. You wear Phillies stuff every day.
So I was down the shore this past weekend in Sea Isle, which you know very well, and I was with some college buddies from out of town. There were some New Yorkers and some Connecticut people there, and it was funny to see their observation of Philly. And one of the wives came back in after a morning walk with the kids and was like, What is it about Philadelphia? Every single person down here either has a Phillies hat, an Eagles shirt, a Sixers this, a Flyers that, hopefully a PHLY t-shirt. She was like, everybody is represented with something Philly down here. And I was like, yeah, we're sick in the head.
Yeah, it's a gag, man. Like it's really like, yeah, I gotta fly, I gotta throw up the flag. Like, let everyone know wherever you go. I have like a t-shirt, an old Phillies Chase Utley t-shirt that I wear whenever I fly.
Nice.
Like that's my airplane shirt. Like, you always just have to let people know.
Yeah. I got some cousins in a Delco group that are flying over with a bunch of people, so avoid that plane if you can, travelers, because that's going to be a scene. It's going to be a really cool event. Those poor people in England, though, have to watch Taijuan Walker, Sean Manaea.
I saw the pitching matchups, and I was, man, they need flex scheduling with this stuff. Like, guess what? Game's on Tuesday now, kids.
Yeah. We're going to go to Monday so you guys can see Zach Wheeler. This is not how we spread the word of baseball out there. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Are you going in just for the weekend and coming back? Are you guys taking a couple days?
We're going Wednesday night, like late Wednesday night, and coming back Monday, I believe. Well, Tuesday morning, probably.
Okay, great. Yeah. And Bill, who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Who should I bet on right now?
Man, VG's going to love to hear this. Edmonton looks so good. Edmonton last night making that comeback just showed me something, and I think that the series in the East is kind of just a war. Like the Panthers beat the crap out of everybody, and the Rangers seem up to it. I think whoever wins the West is going to win the Cup right now, and when a team wins a game, I always have trouble thinking they're ever going to lose again. Like, oh, well, Edmonton came back last night. That means they're going to win the next two. Like, absolutely. But I think both series have a real good chance of going 7. They're both tied at 2 right now. But Edmonton, they're doing this a lot with, it doesn't look like Connor McDavid's 100% healthy. He's having a little trouble shooting the puck, but he's still making himself obviously very present out there. And Leon Draisaitl is really freaking good, man. That team, it might be the year that the team with the best player finally wins the Cup.
So what's crazier, an Edmonton Stanley Cup parade or an Eagles Super Bowl parade down Broad Street? Because those people, I don't, no offense to people in Edmonton and like those, provinces in Canada, but like not a lot going on up there in terms of sports celebrations.
If it was the Leafs who haven't won since expansion, like since '67,
yeah.
But Edmonton, while it has been like 30 years, they did win
have a
5
good run.
out of 7 from like 84 to 90. So
yeah, having
at least a lot of their living fans have that. We had never seen a Super Bowl parade. Many of the fans who are alive in 60 weren't around anymore. Yep. So like I would have to say the Eagles would win that one.
And the Oilers right now on the BetPark Sportbook are plus 300 to hoist the cup. So if you like Bill's Edmonton pick, you can get a little 3-1 action on that. Now, Bill, diehard Phils fan, you've been down to a ton of games already at Citizens Bank Park this year. We were down there with some diehards last Saturday, or the Saturday before they left. Yeah. And boy, the party scene is back at Citizens Bank Park. People were lit.
It really, I mean, I was in college for the last run. Like 07 to 11, that's pretty much my time in college. It lined up perfectly. It feels like that again. And like good for everyone getting to experience that, because it just makes the city so much, it's just so much more alive when the team that plays every day is good that way. And you can go down, most weeks and have a great freaking time down there. It really seems like that's back.
Yeah, it does. And I am a devout Ranger Suarez fanboy. Like he is just like making my year. Christopher Sanchez yesterday goes out there. Who's kind of been like your guy that you've gravitated towards? Because there's so many likable guys on this team. That's part of what makes it so fun.
There absolutely is. Really been liking just for the hair, give me Strom. I mean,
he pets it so prettily.
We have to support our own. But I love Marsh and I love Stott. I mean, dudes who just look like dirt bags.
Yeah.
Like just absolute. Like these dudes, you want to talk about meeting some people down the shore that you're like, I don't know, man. Should we party with these guys?
Are they flash mobbing in Wildwood?
Should we party with these guys? But they're just. it's a lot of fun to be connecting with the team like this because there's nothing like baseball. It's every day.
Yeah.
You get that. I feel like I know this dude. Like Bryce Harper is a little miffed right now.
That was
like,
awesome.
I feel it.
Yeah. I'm pissed off too.
He has been a little pissed, and I get why.
When he took the bat to the dugout. And I asked this to Jim Salisbury earlier, and I talked to JP about it. It kind of feels like Bryce Harper is like if you were to create a Philadelphia athlete in a lab that was perfect for the city in terms of talent, passion, pandering, like just desire to win, he might be the perfect specimen.
Yeah, like we want to. I always think of how mad people got. Like McNabb comes off the field smiling.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you threw an interception, you bum. It's like, I don't know, man. They're 11-5. Like, relax. But like, it's Bryce Harper. He's one of the biggest stars in the game. He strikes out and he's pissed.
Yeah.
Like he's legitimately like, oh, all right, go back to the dugout and I'll get him next time.
This isn't just a game in May to him.
Yeah. Like, and that's how we all feel.
Yeah, it's been a really fun season, and the difference between going 2-4 on that road trip and 1-5 is night and day. And now you come back home and you get the Cardinals, and things are really, really good. Bill, we might have one of the most fun summers ahead of us here with this team.
If the Phils win game 1 against the Cardinals, though, that puts them below 500, so the wins don't count.
So they should lose the first game.
They need to lose game 1,
Yes.
so that at least game 2 counts.
Well, they did that with the Giants,
Yeah.
which was smart.
Yeah.
And I think I just saw it in our Discord, according to Baseball Paul on Twitter. Let me just get this right. And I've lost it. But I think the Giants went above 500 with the second win, and now they're back at 500. So the Phillies kind of juiced.
So yesterday's game actually was worth 2.
Yeah,
It's a
basically.
successful trip. Way to go.
And now the Phillies have the best winning percentage at 688 against 500 or better teams in baseball. So like these narratives that take off are so
Just
dumb.
padding their stats, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun summer. Looking forward to it. The kids are back into it. People are crunked up at Citizens Bank Park. It's just been it's been a great start to the year, and we're about to get June Schwarber.
That's yesterday was the little appetizer, and that's the Schwarberfest hasn't even started yet. We've had little flashes from Bryce, but he hasn't been on like an MVP tear yet. It's going to be a ton of fun, man. I'm just looking forward to the rest of the summer with this team.
Yeah, and I am too. And I'm getting called out in our Discord for having a real boomer morning, I guess. And the thing is, like, when I
don't know if it's a boom. Like, you are standing there alone in the store. Like, you would expect some service. It's just face-to-face service is the least important thing.
Yeah, and I do the order ahead sometimes, especially when I'm dropping the girls off at school and running around. It's just easier, so I don't have to wait. This morning, I thought the drive-thru was going to be open. It wasn't. I went in, and then I didn't matter. So if that makes me a boomer, so be it.
I guess.
Let me go yell at some clouds. Well, Bill, thank you so much for coming in and spending some time on the Anthony Gargano Show. Always good to chew it up with you.
Have a great morning, Jamie. This was a lot of fun.
Flyer Show coming up at 1 o'clock today.
1 o'clock.
Kelly in today, or just you and Charlie?
Kelly is not in today. It's me and Charlie. Maybe
right.
Kelly tomorrow.
And Mitchkoff timeline, what do we got?
They said end of June.
Okay.
I think we'll know before that.
Okay. But he's pretty much definitely coming over.
It really seems that way, Jamie.
Okay. Awesome. There he is, Bill Matz and the PHLY Flyer Show. Make sure you're checking it out. The best hockey guys in town. We got them right here. Just like we got the best basketball guys, the best football guys. And I'm not going to pat my own back and call myself the best baseball guy, but we're here. We're doing it. But yeah, great to hang out with Bill. I used to listen to Bill on my overnight drive-ins to the morning show at the Fanatic, and always was a fan of his, always entertaining in those tough overnight hours. And let me tell you about, those tough overnight hours when you come out and the sun's in your eyes. I got in the car this morning and I was like, give me my shady rays. I can't deal with this sun and this glare. And there was dew everywhere, so everything's bright and shiny and annoying. And you just throw on your Shady Rays and forget about it. Because Shady Rays are awesome sunglasses. They are quality shades that are built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with the premium polarized sunglasses that aren't going to break the bank. They're an independent sunglass company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by, get this, over 300,000 people. Their shades are durable, and with 2 kids around, believe me, I need durability in my shades. They have crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all your outdoor adventures, whether it be the beach, the pool, the mountains, the lake, whatever your style is in the summer. Shady Rays has got you covered, and they have hundreds of options to choose from. They probably even have some in your favorite team's colors. I wear Shady Rays all the time while driving. I feel nude if I don't have them on when driving behind the car because glare, it's just safe. The polarized glasses is safe driving. If your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit and break, I think Shady Rays is nuts for this, but it's what makes them great. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by their lost or broken replacement plan. And if you don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back with personal and fast support. So exclusively for our listeners, it's right there on the screen for you. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code PHLY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
Awesome stuff. All right, guys. Well, listen, it is currently 10:25 in the morning here on the Anthony Gargano Show. Just want to take a quick second to thank you all for tuning on in here this morning. If you guys are watching and enjoying it, consider hitting that like button, subscribing, not only for the Anthony Gargano Show, but all of our PHLY sports shows as well. Once you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button as well. So that way you know exactly when the Anthony Gargano Show will be live. We're also available on podcast streaming platforms as well. Stream us on the way to work, on the way to practice, whatever it may be. Make sure you guys are staying in tune with what's going on with the Anthony Gargano Show. And here's what's on the docket here at PHLY Sports. Jamie already alluded to it a little bit, but at 11 a.m., PHLY Phillies will be here for a day off, recapping that last game yesterday against the Giants, and, of course, talking about what's ahead. At 1 o'clock, you just heard it, PHLY Flyers will be back at 2 p.m. You'll see this guy right here. That's right. PHLY Union will be going live. Myself and Renee Washington will be talking about, another draw. 2:30, we got the Sixers team. PHLY Sixers will be live to talk some offseason at 3 p.m. I'm sure PHLY Eagles will be talking about some wide receivers, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. With that being said, listen, obviously we have a lot of fun stuff, great stuff going on here at PHLY Sports. This upcoming June 8th and 9th, obviously it's a London series, as Jamie and Bill just talked about.
Hang out.
That's right. You'll see Jamie, you'll see Tyler, you'll see Renee, you'll see myself, even Andrew will be there for the PHLY Phillies watch party. We'll be at Gall & Co. on Saturday. For the Saturday game, we'll be at the Rockledge location. For the Sunday game, we'll be in the Port Richmond location, but we'll have some Miller Lite specials, some great food. We'll also be giving away some tickets as well. So to get all that information, all you got to do is head on over to allphly.com/events. But guys, if you were a diehard, you get all this information straight to you. You got to be a diehard, right? You want to be a part of this great family. When you're a diehard, you get to be part of that great Discord community that Jamie always talks about. Of course, we're going to be implementing video calls once the cuz comes back, so you'll get the instructions in there. But it's just a great community to be a part of. All right, you also get the exclusive content from our amazing beat writers that we have here at PHLY. You get the discount on the merch. I got the golf hat. I gotta say, listen, between Andrew, VG, and Jamie, I'm actually kind of into the golf. I'm sold on it.
Hell
right?
yeah.
All right, so I got my golf hat. You can find this on the PHLY locker, but if you're a diehard, you get a discount on the PHLY merchandise, including that new 4for4 t-shirt for the cuz himself. So that's what we got going on here at PHLY Sports. In just a little bit is Cuz's Clubhouse. It'll be myself, Jamie, and VG, and Andrew, of course, as well. We'll be talking about nonsense, pretty much. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
here on the Anthony Gargano Show. I am not Cuz. Look, we got Andrew in the little drop box down
In the
there.
box, man.
Welcome into the clubhouse. This portion of the show is brought to you by Rite Aid. The Rite Aid, your neighborhood pharmacy. Visit your local Rite Aid today. Stock up on all your allergy relief or catch up on immunizations for RSV, shingles, and more. Walk in or schedule an appointment today at riteaid.com. We had a little bit of breaking news, and VG and I go way back here on the Howie Roseman. I am staunchly a Team Howiesman.
Yes.
For a long time.
I am a known critic who used to harass him on his talk show with Anthony.
Yes, I did want to fire him a couple years ago, but we're back.
Yes.
We're really back. All right, but
I'm okay with him.
Yeah. So a signing just happened in the NFL, and I'm going to loop it back to Howie because that's what we do here in hashtag Howie season. The Miami Dolphins and wide receiver Jalen Waddle reached agreement today on a 3-year, $84.75 million contract extension that includes $76 million guaranteed.
Big money.
That is big money, big guarantee there. Nico Collins for the Houston Texans just recently agreed to a 3-year contract worth $72 million. Devontae Smith's deal, 3 years and $75 million with only $51 million guaranteed. So let's take a look at this. 24 or $25 million less in guaranteed money than the Jalen Waddle deal. Devontae Smith and Nico Collins got paid pretty much similar-ish. I mean, when you're talking about $2 million difference in the NFL, that's a fart in the wind. And A.J. Brown, of course, signed his 3-year, $96 million extension. So you're telling me you got the same money as Nico Collins. Devontae Smith is a much better receiver.
For sure.
And Jalen Waddle and him are comparable. I'd probably give a slight edge to Waddle.
He's got injuries,
Yes,
Waddle.
Devontae. I would take Devontae if I was the GM, but if I was
Over
just
Waddle?
because of injuries.
Wow.
I would too.
But when you're talking just straight talent, Waddle's probably a little bit better. But regardless, you got him for $25 less million guaranteed
Great
dollars.
move. I mean, he knew it. I mean, I don't know if it's a great move by Devontae being one of the first ones to sign. You got to wait to see if this happens. But yeah, I don't know how he forces them. How he forces
It's the
them
culture
to sign.
they have. People like playing for the Eagles. It's not a dysfunctional franchise. They have dysfunctional moments. But Howie did it again.
And likes to call him Howie Potter. I like
Howie the Wizard,
Howie
Howie.
Wizard.
Yeah, he is.
Someone in the chat back in the day said, "This is how we do it," which is a great one.
I love the memes online with I forget who does it, but Howie with the long hair. And like, they're just so good.
Speaking of wizarding, right? So like obviously how
You a Wizardsman, Bo?
He's a big wizard guy over here.
So like how he locked up one of the best wide receiver duos to like solid contracts. But when you look at a bigger picture, right? So Miami just signed Jalen to this $84 million contract. Back in 2022, they did sign Tyreek Hill to one of the most expensive contracts for a wide receiver. So how he's continuing to do the wizard thing.
Yeah, being ahead of the curve on these market signings. And you look, Patrick Mahomes is going to be pissed about his deal in about 2 weeks ago. But the Jalen Hurts deal, like, again, when you look at it now and Dak Prescott on the doorstep of maybe signing an extension, maybe not. Amari Cooper is going to get paid, or not Amari Cooper. CeeDee Lamb is going to get paid down there. So Dallas is up against the financial ropes
Dallas
here.
is screwed.
Oh, they're so screwed. It's great.
They have like 3 disgruntled stars.
But Howie's never behind the financial curve. He's always ahead of it.
Yeah.
He's always getting good market deals on what he does. So
I'll never take that away from Howie. He's good at that. He excels. He's the best at it. Probably.
Money moves, man. Money moves.
Yeah, absolutely. And JP, we're gonna go back in the day.
Well, yesterday we were looking at Ryan Howard, and that was an East-West All-Star.
Yes, we're going to talk about that at length if this is not your back in the day.
Well, no, that's not my back in the day, but it's a Ryan Howard back in the day moment. So on this day, 2009, I'm wondering.
Do you know that Big Piece is probably my second favorite Philly ever?
I can believe that.
Mike Schmidt kind of like made me love baseball. Ryan Howard was my favorite of that group.
Okay.
So you're speaking right to my heartstrings.
All right. I'm wondering if you remember this one. So 2009, they played against the Washington Nationals. In the bottom of the third, they were down 3-2. Here comes Ryan Howard up to bat. hits a grand slam that went into the third deck, something that even Schwarber struggles with. And the Phillies wound up beating the Washington Nationals 9-6. I wish we could show the clip here, but third deck home runs are not easy, CBP, despite being a hitter's ballpark. And that is your Rite Aid back in the day moment.
Man, Ryan Howard hit one, like he hit bombs. There was one that cleared the ivy in center field. I'll never forget. There used to be an ATM there. I think it was a Citizens Bank Park ATM.
Someone get doinked?
They
withdrawing
did
money?
it, luckily, but it landed next to the ATM, which is basically that back row of vendors. It was like unbelievable. That guy hit absolute piss missiles. So always good to remember a Ryan Howard blast.
Definitely watched that home like 3 times before coming on.
Did you ever make the vet in your young boy?
Dude,
did you ever?
I wish I did.
Do you remember the Willie Stargell seat?
Yeah.
Up in right field,
Yeah.
upper deck,
Ridiculous.
and they marked it.
Yeah.
It's kind of something cool at Major League Baseball. I wish they would do more of it. I know Fenway has like the fake red seat that Ted Williams hit one too.
yeah?
Oh yeah, it's like right past the foul pole, like upper level. And some of the players that have played in Fenway are like, there's no way he hit it there. There's just no way. Because like David Ortiz is like, I've hit moonshots in here and haven't even come close to it. So like, it's kind of like a little bit of folklore that he might have hit it up there. But it's always a cool
when
thing.
they mark the seat or the area.
Like as a kid, I used to go up to the Willie Stargell seat and just be like, this is cool.
Yeah, this is far.
Yeah. And then you look at it on play and you're like, oh.
Yeah, this is really far.
So speaking of Ryan Howard, that not back in the day, but just yesterday. This was a really cool thing yesterday, and we're about to talk about the Negro League stats that are now integrated into Major League Baseballs. But they did an East-West game, a throwback game with a lot of the African-American former players, like the Upton brothers were there, Curtis Granderson, Ryan Howard, and they played a 5-inning game. And so at the bottom of the 5th, Ryan Howard stepping up to plate. I think he was on the East team, and he kind of looks at the dugout like, "This is it, right? Like this is the ball game, just 5 innings." And they're all like, "Yeah, if you hit one out, we're gonna storm the field." And he steps up to the bat and he hits one out, and he wins. And they're in the old timey jerseys, and it was really cool. And he ends up winning the Bob Feller Player of the Game award. So the big piece shining yesterday, still got it.
It's awesome.
Big piece, man.
How good would he be in a softball league?
Oh, my God. If Walter Thurman can go out there and take over a league, then the big piece would absolutely dominate a beer league softball
Crush
league.
it.
Yeah, so that was really cool to see. And the other thing that was cool to see yesterday in baseball is officially, as of yesterday, the Negro League stats were added to the Major League Baseball stats.
Love that.
A little bit of me feels like they're whitewashing what happened, like kind of like Men in Black trying to be like, hey, we weren't problematic. You were, and it's part of the history. Nonetheless, a cool effort, maybe a little bit too late. But now in terms of some of the leaders, Josh Gibson, who is a guy, some people think like if you combined all the leagues, he might have hit 900 home runs.
Right.
Like this guy might have been one of the greatest hitters baseball has ever seen.
Pennsylvania, too, Pittsburgh area, I think.
Oh, is he from
so.
outside
He's a
Pittsburgh?
Yinzer.
Yeah, I think
a
so.
little Yinzer. So he puts fries on his sandwiches. Real weird. So Josh Gibson is now the all-time leader in career batting average at 372.
Okay.
Slugging percentage at 718. An OPS of 1.177. He's now the single-season leader for average at 466 in 1943. Slugging percentage of 974 in 1937, and an OPS of 1.474 in 1937. You can say what you want about the talent level of the leagues, but the Negro Leagues might have had better pitching than Major League Baseball at the time. It's a difficult thing to just accept it as like this is the same. So like part of me is a little conflicted there, but I think it's a cool effort to honor these players
And
overall.
I've seen people complaining about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, these guys would have been in the major leagues.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
if we
I
weren't
mean,
for our
and there's a-
problematic history.
And like some of the guys in the Negro League wouldn't be in the Major League, but some of the guys in Major League Baseball at the time wouldn't be in Major League Baseball
Absolutely.
if they merged the talent. So I have no issues with merging.
Yeah,
and counting
very cool.
stats.
Some other guys that came up. Oscar Charleston is now a career leader in average. He comes in 3rd, just behind Ty Cobb. OBP comes in 6th, slugging the 7th, OPS 5th. So a lot of guys are getting recognition they deserve. Buck Leonard is now 8th all time with a 345
Good
batting
name,
average.
Buck Leonard.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a good
very
name.
good name, Buck Leonard. Yeah. Charlie Chino Smith. Like, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Love that.
So it was very cool to see yesterday by Major League Baseball to happen and going forward. So very cool stuff in the analogs. I'll be hopping on Baseball Reference today and kind of just looking at it
Through the
all.
stats.
Yeah, a little bit.
Seeing
I
what's
love
changed up.
a deep stat dive. That's always fun. So a lot going on. Obviously, we talked about the Phillies earlier. The Sixers I did want to touch on, and a little bit of love there to Howie Roseman. Sixers, and we'll get to your Nugs in a moment. Sixers. It's starting to feel, and I think I'm starting to hate it, that Jimmy Butler is going to be the most realistic option.
Yep.
Now, this could be Pat Riley just trying to drum up the market for him, but it comes out yesterday that the Sixers would be willing to pay him the extension money he's looking for, and that the ownership group feels as though they wronged him 5 years ago. I can't believe that was 5 years ago.
I know.
already.
Is that crazy?
And
I hate remorse moves. I hate
that's
them.
where I'm coming
Never
from.
works, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
5 years
never
ago,
works,
Jimmy
dude.
was the move over Tobias Harris.
Yep.
But like, all right. So with that
5
point,
years later, he's got a lot of wear on those tires.
was it the Tobias contract, or was it Jimmy not liking Ben and
so
Brett
the
combination?
real situation was they chose Ben over Jimmy.
That's what I
That's
figured.
Ben
Yeah,
and Brett.
definitely.
I don't think
Jimmy
I don't
knew
think
all
Brett
along.
wanted to coach Jimmy.
And I can't roast them for that because at the time, Ben Simmons was 24 years old, all NBA defender, going out there and putting up triple doubles and looking like if he ever shot the ball, he was going to take the league by storm. I get why they made that decision. You didn't have to pay Tobias Harris. And when Jimmy left the court, the famous, you chose Tobias Harris over me.
I know.
Okay, Jimmy and Ben didn't gel.
Right.
I don't figure it out. Like, you're professionals. You know what I mean?
We figured out Ben is not really a professional.
It's a fair point. But his summer hype videos are out. He's working out in the gym, guys.
With
So this is
5'7" trainers you shoot over.
This is
Looking
the summer
great.
of
Dude,
Ben.
and that Jimmy leaving as well, and the Sixers picking Ben over Jimmy may have blown up Ben's head a little bit as well, because then that's where after you start figuring out a little bit more about Ben's DNA as a basketball player. So
Too much
that might have been a
pressure
big
on him.
moment. Or just think about it. Jimmy was a big part of that season, right? I mean, obviously,
Sure.
if triple doink doesn't happen, who knows what happens, right?
He had some big shots in that
Right.
series. Yeah.
And so, for Ben, him looking at the situation, if he's seeing that they're picking him over Jimmy, that's got to blow up his head a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not ideal for me. Jimmy is a killer in the playoffs, which they need that desperately.
But he's old and got injury.
But you see I think this is Bleacher saying what a trade could look like, which is a 16th pick this year, 2 more first rounders. And if Jimmy was a free agent, I'm all in.
I'm with you.
I like signing a LeBron and having the assets to trade for a Markkanen.
That's
or someone
why
else.
I'm more okay with Paul George, and I know the discourse on Paul George is taken off to kind of a wacky
You don't have
level.
to
I
trade
mean,
assets,
he's not
though.
exciting. He doesn't make
Yeah.
it move.
But
Paul
you don't have
George.
to give anything up.
Right. That's
And
the key.
I don't. It does. In talking with Devon on Tuesday, he's like, yeah, they're probably not drafted 16. They're probably going to be giving that up. So it does. When you see a Dallas Mavericks add a Lively, who I think went 12th
Dude.
last year. You're
Love
16th in the
Lively.
draft this year. You can get a guy who's young and energetic that can help you out right away. You just got to make the right pick, which is a hard thing to do. But I'm kind of with you. Trading in all your youthful assets for these 34 and 35-year-olds, it's
So it comes
Doesn't
down
work
to
anymore.
are you gonna Jimmy's the move then, and that's it, or you sign a Paul George and you still have assets to make another move. So you add 2
rather do
quality
that.
players,
My-
and I'm down with that.
my top 2 options on the board are Paul George and LeBron James.
For sure.
Yeah.
LeBron won, Paul.
This discourse that we don't want LeBron James here. Are you people out of your minds?
I think I like LeBron because he signs for 2 years, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Paul George is gonna look for a 4-year deal.
You have minimal years. The
Yeah.
guy has more rings than our entire organization.
Yeah.
You put him with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. That's the greatest
Oh,
Sixers
yeah.
team I've ever seen in my lifetime.
With
Definitely.
assets to make a move,
And then
add.
you get the people that, and look, LeBron, the GM, doesn't always make the right moves, but you're going to have people ring chasing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And if LeBron says, hey, just, on the down low, take Bronny and I'm in,
Yeah.
you do it. You absolutely do
Totally
it. So it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Sixers. In other Sixers related news, before we get to VG's Nugs here, It seems like JJ Redick is absolutely going to be the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Be interesting.
Which,
Pretty wild.
That seems like LeBron stays then. No, they have a podcast
they're
together.
doing the smug podcast
It'd be so
together,
funny.
where they fart in the wine glasses and take a big whiff of it. Those two are so smug.
I mean, who doesn't do that?
I like my own brand. But it does seem like JJ is going to be the head coach of the Lakers.
Yes.
People in NBA circles are saying he could be the next Pat Riley. It'll be interesting to see. JJ's kind of wearing thin on me. No offense. If you want to come on, JJ, you can come on. But it's a lot of JJ recently. I don't dislike him,
It is a lot of JJ.
but I'm kind of like worn down by him a little
and
bit.
I think he's okay as an analyst.
he's solid.
Yeah, I'm always suspect on people who have never coached just getting an NBA gig coaching.
Yeah.
I know. It's hit or miss.
It's a
man.
lot of egos to manage, and just because he's cool with a couple of players doesn't mean you have the skills to do that.
Yeah, it
I mean, we've
seems
seen
like
that
a
happen in
strange
like
hire.
Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, Jason Kidd and Steve Nash
Yeah.
and like all
The
these guys.
disaster.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Steve Nash. Well, I don't know how much of that I can put on Steve Nash as much as the GM and ownership of going, hey, let's get 3 of the craziest guys in the league
Right.
and put them together.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Maybe get Redick like a 3-month psychology certificate over
Yeah.
the summer before he steps into it.
But there was some report last night that he's already started contacting possible assistant coaches. So it looks like JJ Redick's going to coach the Lakers. And that's an element of weird I look forward to watching.
Yeah, I actually enjoy it because I think it makes them worse. So I'm cool
The Lakers
with
are
that.
kind of a beautiful disaster. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to VG's Nugs.
I have a life question. Part of the Nugs maybe will be this life question. It's flop season. You're the biggest flop guy I know.
Me and Jason Kelsey.
Yes.
Oh, I meant to ask Bill, if your wife pulls the Kylie Kelsey move, you're extremely turned on, right?
Oh yeah,
For sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
You
like-
go, girl. Like,
Yeah. I can't wait to get you home later. All right.
She's like 6 foot.
Yeah, man.
Kylie, boss.
Yeah.
That was hot.
Flop season. Saw this happen at a pub this weekend.
Uh-oh.
Guy
God.
sitting with his flops on, legs crossed, digging at his toes.
Oh.
At the bar.
You have a picture of this?
No, I do not.
I was
going
gonna
to
say, yeah,
know
give
this
me that
pub?
one.
You know the pub. Man, you can't be hanging out, shaking hands with bros and stuff after
Yeah.
you've been digging at your toe cheese and stuff.
Yeah, I have to say, as somebody that wears flops probably 80 to 85% of the year, I've been guilty of it.
You have?
Subconsciously, like I've gone to pick at it and then been like,
Yeah.
oh God.
Some restraint.
Yeah, like this is gross. Nobody wants to
I'm
see
in
this.
public. I'm in
Nobody
public.
wants to see
Yeah,
it.
no
one wants
toe
to touch
stuff in
your
public.
hand. You're touching the glasses. I don't even know if the disinfectant they put the glass in is strong enough for toe fungus and toe jam.
It's a fair point.
Speaking of the pub, I can't believe there was actual bowls of nuts at the bar back in the day.
I'm still diving into that bowl.
loving
No,
Pretzels, peanuts.
Dude,
Yeah.
after touching a toe
Well,
cheese
I mean, I'm
and
not-
going to the bathroom and not
I
washing
wash
your
my
hands.
hands like a maniac, and I
But not
use
everyone
Purell.
does that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
It is
in, I'm
gross.
in.
A little extra
But-
flavor.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of it.
I'm in on
Good for the
that.
immune system. It builds you up. You know.
All right, let's talk a little potty talk since we're kind of like already in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
By the way, quick shout out to our John in here. The open window aspect in the dump room.
I
Love it.
Everyone's getting.
I mean, I've never had an open window in the
1-1
bathroom
of our
outside of my
bathroom.
home ever.
Dude,
Great
I
setup
used it
in
for the
there.
first time this week, and I went home and told the peg, and I was like, they got this window. There's something about taking a dump with this
fresh breeze in
view,
here.
the breeze.
Yeah, sunshine
Yeah,
coming
We
in.
got wet wipes in there too, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 5-star, man. 5-star
There's a
experience.
TV in there, bidet.
Yeah, it's great.
And like I've seen like celebrities have like outdoor toilets.
Totally get it.
Totally get it. Because
If I
of
was
that
loaded, I would have an outdoor shower and toilet
Yes.
set up.
Dude,
Like,
the outdoor
absolutely.
shower is elite.
it's the best.
Yeah.
My buddy's putting. I never understood about outdoor showers why it had to be just a shore thing.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good point.
Like, why is it shameful to have one? Like, if you're in the Northeast Philly, like, why not have an outdoor
Yeah,
shower?
Well,
I know
they're not
neighbors
made
are-
for like full on showers. They're made to
quick
rinse
rinses.
sand
Yeah,
off
Yeah,
you.
but like you only need as a male like 3 minutes in a shower.
I agree with you, man.
Like I want to put one in my backyard. My buddy in
it.
Connecticut just did it.
You should do it.
Yeah,
I kind of
Your
want
buddy
to.
in Connecticut put an outdoor shower.
Yeah, he just did a.
He does full on showers.
Yeah.
like nut nude showers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wow.
man.
contain it a little bit so the neighbors aren't seeing your schwanz. And
Do a beer in there while you're doing it, dude.
Yeah,
Outdoor
that's
beer
weird.
shower is banging.
Yeah, I'm all about. I support anybody that wants to get an outdoor shower.
You were
out there.
talking about Memorial Day weekend, like the whole summer where it's like hot during the day, and then you wear the hoodie when it gets chilly at night. Well, there's nothing better, like at the afternoon, you're in the beach all day, and you get that outdoor shower, wash off all that salt water. That's the best.
Yeah, but you still got your skivvies on, right? No. Nude.
So back to the bathroom talk. I once was skeeved by porta potties. I used to bird's nest public toilets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I had a buddy, and he was just like, dude, just grip it and rip it. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
You put your glute flesh on a public, like a porta potty?
Oh, you have to inspect it first.
A porta potty?
No, porta potty I never want to dump unless it's an emergency.
But a public toilet?
You have to inspect the seat. You have to inspect the seat.
Let me move over here, dude.
No, you got to inspect the seat. Like,
what are you going to inspect for? You got microscopic eyes?
Pee.
See bacteria? Yeah. No way, man.
I dropped the bird's nest. Like,
I'm a bird's nest guy.
Yeah,
I'm a
I
triple
get it.
bird's
I was
nest.
one. I'm kind of a germaphobe, so I like.
Yeah.
It's just my buddy.
You put a bird's nest down. You right on the bowl, right on the seat, right on the seat.
No, I'm not sitting on the seat.
I try not to play away games, but
Toilet
like,
paper.
Like a public bathroom?
Right here. You sit on the seat.
Nah.
oh, you guys
Yeah.
are bird's nesting in here?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
you
fine.
maniacs. I don't know what you
In
maniacs
here,
are
you
up
grip
to.
it and
This
rip
is
it.
fine.
Yeah, we're family, man.
Yeah,
It's the
come on,
PHLY family. We can all sit bare ass on the same seat.
Man, I don't know how often is it clean? Yeah. Whoa. You guys are awful
we just
friendly.
went off the rails there.
Yeah.
All right,
that's
BG, what other nugs you got for
Hey,
us?
Todd Zalecki popped in yesterday with a pretty unique room in his house.
I meant to ask John to text him if that was individual cards or like
yes,
some kind
or
of
like wallpaper. But
I think they're individual cards.
that is a painstaking thing. His walls are covered from. There's not an inch there.
Ceiling to floor.
There's not a centimeter not covered.
They look because
So wait, are you out on this?
Some of them look slightly off, so it looks like it's something he did himself.
I mean, I love it. It's something I would have
just not
loved to
doing
do at like 12 in my house. But my parents would never let me. He has to have the most understanding partner if he has a significant other. I don't know anyone who would let them do that to a room.
Well,
This to me
if the
feels
man
like a
cave-
basement or
Yeah.
office. Like this is
Free
his
room.
studio.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
dig it, but wow.
Yeah.
I was just blown away by it.
I have my office where my fiance's like, do whatever you want.
Yeah?
So the way it worked in my house when we moved in was she said, your stuff can go downstairs into the kids' playroom / bar, laundry area, Peloton room, all that.
Mhm.
I get the rest of the house. And I was like, deal.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Deal. Like you can have it. So
Absolutely.
she decorated the part of the house that
Yeah.
everybody sees, and I got to put all the sports stuff down in the basement, which is totally fine
Yeah.
with me.
That is awesome.
Shout out for the Federal Donut t-shirt.
Yeah, I was
too,
going
we
to
had
say
on.
the
Yeah, it's
Federal
nice.
Donuts. Yeah.
We saw. Go ahead.
Our social media guy, Chris Reza, could do the same thing because he has like collection of cards.
Oh yeah, him and Vince are card nuts, and I just found out one of my other buddies is like a card nut. Cards are back in a huge way.
Yeah.
So
Tops, baby.
very cool.
Sober. How about Pat Burrell shoving people yesterday? Sober Pat, a little aggressive.
I didn't see him. He threw a shove.
He was the one. He riled it up. Everyone was just talking, and Pat Burrell shoved someone and started getting heat.
Oh.
So I thought back. I don't like sober Pat Burrell. He's aggressive. I remember back in the days when he would drink some beers and
Cello Mill dude.
a better one. Yeah, he would
Mellow
be a
chill.
Irish time.
Oh,
I
yes.
like Gimp Pat drinking a beer.
Yeah,
around
this was
the pool.
the Brian Wilson Gimp days,
Yeah.
which I do have to give them credit. If you remember the Chris Rose interview on Fox.
No. Oh wait, is that the one where he was just walking in the background dressed like the Gimp?
Yes. So Brian Wilson is doing like a laptop hit with Chris Rose on Fox in what looked like a Roger Dorn sunroom.
Yes.
And he's doing the interview, and all of a sudden around the corner walks Pat Burrell in the Gimp outfit, which you see right there. And Brian Wilson and him clearly staged the bit. So Brian Wilson's trying not to know, like he knows what's going on behind him.
Yeah.
And Burrell just walks through in a Gimp outfit and passes by, and Chris Rose's head is like broken. Like, what the hell was that? Brian
My
Wilson's like,
mind's
what?
blown right
Did they call him the machine or something?
Yeah, the Burrow was the machine. Half man, half machine. Sometime Gimp. Yeah, that's not cool, Pat. You can't shove your old team out there. Gregory Soto, though, came out fists ablazing. He was ready to throw down.
Oh, Gregory.
Pro Football Focus listed their most talented teams. I saw this on NBC Sportsnet Philly.
Okay.
And I'm curious when you take a look at it, if there's anything that jumps out at you of the top 10. I think it was the top 10 teams. They got the 49ers 1, Chiefs 2,
Most
Eagles 3,
talented according to PFF.
Jets 4, Ravens 5, Lions 6, Texans 7, Bengals 8, Cowboys 9th, Bills 10.
What jumps out at me, is that the question?
Yeah.
Number 4.
Yeah.
The Jets are pretty talented though.
4 over.
I mean,
oh my
Aaron
God.
Rodgers, elevates you. You have a really good young
And you're
defense.
like, no Packers?
Yeah, I'm putting Packers.
I think
on this
the
list.
Bills surprises me a little bit that
They've
they're up that
lost-
high.
they've
They've lost
lost
everybody.
Yeah.
You'd have the Jets over the Packers in that?
I don't know if
For
I'd have
most
the
talented
I would have
teams?
the
It's just
Packers in the top
talented.
10.
Like, it's kind of a
10.
deceiving question. Like, talented. How do you evaluate
True,
talent?
true.
You know what I mean? So I think they left themselves some wiggle room there.
Yeah.
I
interesting.
agree with the Eagles' position in it, though.
Yeah.
I think third seems about right.
Yeah,
I-
right,
I-
for sure. But Jets
Yeah,
right
I'd
after
probably have the
that.
Chiefs 1 with Mahomes just as that most
Yeah.
talented. You can't overcome
Brock
that
Purdy.
talent. Yeah.
But the rest of the Niners team is pretty loaded. Look, those top 8 teams will stop and with the Cowboys and Bills and leave them out of it. Those top 8 teams are pretty loaded rosters.
Probably put Jets at 8.
Yeah, I can't. At 4 Jets,
like
when
the
you
Jets.
have
Dude,
them
if
in
they have
between
Aaron
Eagles and
Rodgers-
Ravens,
If
like,
they have
off an
Rodgers
big
playing
injury.
like,
but like that's it.
I know he's a wackadoo these
He's
days.
like 30, 35 now?
No, I think
Older
he's
than that.
41.
Oh my God.
He's-
yeah,
he's north of
coming
40.
off of
I
an
thought he
Achilles.
was like, 39.
Yeah,
40.
I put them. I would put them at like
I just thought they were a
9,
little overrated talent wise.
This is
10.
an interesting
He's
list.
40, will be 41 in December. And yeah, and Jets Twitter, I guess, freaked out yesterday because the
saw
Jets
it.
were having OTAs and he was doing a couple running drills and like curling and throwing.
Yeah.
And then he had to pull off to the sideline.
Yeah, I
and
saw
then
that.
a trainer came
Yep.
over and checked out his foot. So everybody in Jets Nation was panicking. I sympathize with Jets fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a buddy who's won. They're diehards. They know their franchise sucks. They know they're probably never going to see a Super Bowl. Like they were where the Eagles were, you know,
Well,
7-8 years
The
ago.
best part was what 22 or 21 we went up to MetLife and I went up with some buddies and I'm looking over their Super Bowl banner got updated. Like it's been that long that they have like the modern logo on Super Bowl 3. It's that bad up there.
Yeah. The good fans, they're down
Yeah.
bad. So
Respect
yeah,
for
and they're
Jets
not
fans.
obnoxious like Giants fans.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Fireman Ed sucks though.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
Yeah, you can't retire and unretire. What the
Yeah,
heck is
come
that?
on, dude. Stop being a glory hog. Go away. What else you got for us?
Oh, you covered the Dominican Academy. I have pulled up a picture of
Chooch?
Oh, well, it's the
Yeah.
group of them.
Yeah,
It's a group
Wani.
photo. And Chooch is looking fashionable, man. He always looks solid.
Juan's jacket. I don't know if he has the jacket in this picture.
No,
but
he's got it off.
he strolled in with a sport coat on that was dazzling.
They're a sharp looking bunch.
Yeah.
Middleton came in
Yeah.
showing, I'm a neck guy. I'm
He
obsessed
loves
with it. He's got the neck showing.
He loves the short sleeve
Yes.
button up.
Yes, he
Loves it.
does.
And-
With
and-
the big, is it a black like leather watch? Like
I don't
even
know.
And I liked his choice he's a full break pant guy at the bottom. You know where they touch the shoe, but then there's also the overhang.
Yeah,
It's a little old school.
It is.
You
old
might
school.
have to like
show off those ankles, Johnny.
up with the break a little bit on them pants.
So funny.
But yeah, Bobby Abreu looks huge compared. Look at little Chooch on the left compared to Bobby Abreu
Yeah, he
on the
does.
right.
Yeah, Bobby. You know,
He's a
one of the.
big
We
boy.
talked about Ryan Howard, one of the more underrated, Phillies ever.
Sure.
What else you got for us?
Babylon B, you can always respect for some good content. They found Angel Hernandez doing a new job already. He's out of retirement with a new gig.
I think I saw this.
He's a Boeing inspector.
It's terrifying.
That's so scary. We shouldn't joke about Boeing because they might come and kill us.
Right.
Dude, what is up with them? It's just like not talked about. They've killed like what, 2 or 3 people now?
Yeah.
just straight up
And they
killed.
have like an issue a month. There was
Yeah.
just another one like last week.
I now am at the point where, because I'm going to Chicago over July 4th for
Yeah.
the Philly series, I like check to see what
Yeah.
is it an Airbus?
See if
Please
it's
give me an Airbus.
Please be Airbus.
And Boeing, I like you. I respect you. Don't come after me and my family.
Yeah. The Olympics are coming up, and there's a big thing going
What's
on
this
in
protest?
figure
They're-
skating.
Oh, because France is doing some protests along the Rhine River.
Oh, I haven't
They're putting
seen.
toilets out.
What?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's some kind of protest going on. I don't know if that was a Photoshop.
Along the Rhine in Germany?
Or not the Rhine, the sea. Yeah. But they're putting toilets
That's
along
a
the
long-
riverbanks.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. The French know how to protest, though.
So we got the U.S. Olympic pairs figure skating coach Delilah Sappenfield banned for life for misconduct.
What,
Emotionally and physically
Abuse?
abusive. and she had underage kids staying at her house without reporting it, which is like a major no.
It feels to me like the Olympics are like dirty.
Yeah,
Like there's so much cheating and illegal stuff happening.
not in America. And then U.S. squads.
Maybe not U.S., but like the Russians are doping their
all the
asses.
time.
Yeah,
Russians are doing it all the
Russians,
time.
of
The
course.
Chinese with these gymnasts, they get them at like 6 weeks old and like start training them. Like I don't know, the Olympics are more and more like kind of grimy. And I'm a big summer over winter guy.
Oh, really? I'm winter
I'm
over summer.
equal. Yeah, I'm good. I'm in the middle. I'm equal. Balance
Okay.
you guys
I
out.
like the
But
hockey,
yeah, you
the
might want
bobsled,
to.
baby.
You might want to short the U.S. Olympic figure skating. Team.
That's good. That's good value right there.
Here's for good value. Our gambling degenerates. There's a casino list of the most profitable games for casinos for the
I know
month
this.
of April. What do you think the least profitable is?
Isn't sports?
No. These are actual casino games.
Oh, like the games themselves.
Yes.
Well, I know like slots
Like-
is the most profitable, and then blackjack is second.
Right. So I was surprised that blackjack is the second most profitable because everyone I know thinks they're the best at blackjack and
No.
win constantly.
I don't play blackjack because the house is too good.
Yeah. So blackjack, they pulled in 110 million. That's second only to penny slots at 216
Wow.
mil. Sports is their second least profitable.
Yeah. Okay.
Craps.
Right behind craps.
Craps is the edge. That's where the
Wow.
odds are the best. So if you want to have the best odds, gambling is craps and then
So,
sports betting.
I never really understood craps that well, but it's fun as hell to play when you're with somebody that does know what they're doing.
And the table's going hot.
And the tables,
People are yelling.
because
It's
everybody's
like,
kind of
bro.
communal against the house,
Yes.
and it's a lot of fun. I'm personally a roulette man. I love roulette.
Do you like roulette?
I love roulette.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
your thing? Like
I
you
play
just
the
pick-
outsides. Occasionally, I'll play a number if I feel it in my loins.
Oh, yeah.
But
you
I'm
have a set group of numbers you like?
No, once right before me and Addie got married, we were doing a cousin's dinner in AC, and after the dinner, people were gambling a little bit, and I was like, we weren't really going to gamble that night, and I was like, all right, let's just take one shot. Our wedding's in like 3 weeks, so we put 20 or 25 down on 27, which was our wedding date.
Mhm.
It won.
Oh,
There you go.
And Addie
That's
let
a
out
big one.
a casino shriek. Like people probably thought we won, $2 million. Like
Yeah,
she
but I
was
mean,
so
it's a-
pumped. But it was the only thing we bet that whole night, and we ended up cashing. What is that? 33 to 1 inside.
36 to 1,
36
maybe?
to 1.
Yeah. That's a
So
nice,
it was
that's
great.
a nice win.
Yeah. So occasionally I'll play a number, but usually I stick to columns, rows, odds,
Yeah.
evens, red, black type of stuff.
All right, we got one final one. We had Jimmy Gurecki in here last week. We talked a little bit about Love Park and the meaning of it. Sweden, this town Malmo in Sweden.
Mamo.
Yeah, Malmo is recreating Love Park.
That's awesome.
And they have the blueprint from Edmund Bacon to do it exact.
That's
And they
awesome.
have ledges, granite slates, trash cans, and light posts from Phillies Love Park that they've salvaged and brought
Wow.
over.
That's pretty cool.
And they had a bunch of Philly skateboarders go over to be the first
So-
people to skate on it and open it up.
This is an homage to skating. Like that's the catalyst of it,
Yeah.
right?
Seems
Not
like
just
it,
Okay.
Yeah, it was
That's
just
very
that they
cool.
just felt it was such a meaningful park for skateboarders that
That's
was
awesome.
Can't wait
recreated
to see
here for
Jimmy
them.
skate over there.
Yeah.
Dude, you remember when Tony Hawk's Pro Skater came out and you could do
Love
Philly?
that
It was
game.
awesome. So
Love
very
that
cool
game.
to see that.
Yeah.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
what we got.
All right, those are some
VG's
good notes. All right, that's going to do it for us here today on the Anthony Gargano Show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for presenting with us. Thank you to JP, VG, and of course Andrew behind the scenes and a little
Andrew.
bit on camera there. Great work as always. I will be back in tomorrow, 9 to 11 a.m. here on the Anthony Gargano Show on PHLY. But don't, stay tuned. Tomorrow we're going to have Kyle Neubeck on and Zach Berman on. Really looking forward to talking to both of those guys. But of course, today we got Phillies coming up at 11, Flyers at 1, Sixers at 2:30, Eagles, I believe, are at noon today.
There are 3 today.
3 today. Okay, because today I think the Eagles are having a practice, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Yes, I think there's a morning activity. So Zach and Bo will have you covered at 3 with all the latest from Eagles OTA. But to everybody that tuned in, hit that thumbs up button on your way out of here. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you get the notifications when we go live every day. But we appreciate each and every one of you. Love you. Mean it. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m. back here on the Anthony Gargano Show.
We all silly like the mayor.